Part 25. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 241. Chen Ang can be said to have explained the immortals and Buddhas in this world clearly and clearly. Not to mention how correct it is, but at least it contains private goods. It is often Chen Ang's simple language that can reveal his advanced blackness. Countless people laughed. At this time, it was seen that the picture was accompanied by stunned monkeys. Chen Ang shook his head, sighed and said, "You can't do this. Even if you are lucky enough to become an immortal, you will still offend your colleagues, be framed, or offended. Tiantiao, the fate of a trip to the immortal platform is to go to the human world and practice for decades. I think you have more than 300 years of life, and you still have more than half of it. You should go to the human world to be an official for 100 years, and treat the gods in the sky. The various dojos in the mortal world have been arranged, let's find an opportunity to go up there." After saying this, Sun Wukong was confused, and the twists and turns made him dizzy. What kind of officialdom in heaven, what kind of experience in the mortal world, he is so confused that he doesn't know what it means. He followed Chen Ang up the mountain in a daze. The monkey knew he had arrived. However, I couldn't be happy at all. He saw that there was still a boy standing at the door, but did not come forward. He just grabbed Chen Ang's clothes and asked, "That boy is very handsome and accompanying the gods. Could he become an immortal?" Chen Ang looked at it, and with just one glance, he said, after seeing through the boy's past and present life, and seeing through everything about him, he immediately shook his head and said, "The secular bones are not reborn. In the future, he will just be a Taoist priest with some skills, but he will not become an immortal." After hearing this, the monkey stepped forward and asked directly, "Has troubled the immortal Tongzi?" Before he could finish speaking, the boy immediately said seriously, "Are you the one who came to visit the Tao? Why did you keep me waiting for so long? Come with me to see the ancestor." After saying that, he reached out to catch the monkey. 770. However, the monkey took a step back and said, "I am here to learn about immortality. Dare I ask the fairy boy, can you become an immortal?" "What nonsense are you talking about?" The fairy boy said displeasedly, "My ancestor's magical power is greater than that of gods, but you, a Hosen who visits Taoism and practices, also want to become a fairy. Miraculous powers are easy to obtain, but righteousness is hard to find. Are you still in?" "Don't panic, don't panic." The monkey listened to the boy's words and understood instantly. He had no respect for the boy anymore. He took a few steps back and went to Chen Ang. He immediately knelt down and worshipped. "Please tell me from the ancestors. I was born without a father-mother's time, right?" Chen Ang remained silent, just closed his eyes and looked at the sky. The monkey begged and asked Chen Ang for advice. "You are an unborn wild monkey who has never made friends with heroes from all over the world. He is not a guest of Dragon Palace either. And you have no connection with the heavenly soldiers and generals. The real immortals in the 3 caves are not familiar with you, and the stars in the sky have never been close to you. I have never burned incense to worship the Buddha. He has never had anything to do with Yama. In past and present lives, no one can be related to gods. Difficult, difficult. How can you become a god with such a heel? Have you achieved positive results through cultivation? It's better to learn some skills, gather in the mountains and forests, raise flags to rebel, and wait for Zhaoan." The words made the monkey cry bitterly, and the more he listened, the sadder he felt. He sobbed, choked, and cried. He pulled his sleeves to wipe his tears again, and hurriedly asked, "This is the best way to live forever? He has no chance with me, so he has no choice but to be born by himself, and he only seeks that inferior art of immortality. Let me ask the patriarch, how can a disciple seek for the lowest form of immortality?" Chen Ang counted with his fingers and immediately said with a smile, this inferior art of immortality is also the simplest and easiest to cultivate. Just so you know, in this vast world of 3 mountains and 5 mountains, there are many monsters who practice the art of immortality. It's nothing more than some paths that absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and defeat the essence of the sun and moon. If you go wandering in the mountains and take refuge with an accomplished demon, it's not difficult to get taught. The monkey frowned and considered, and then asked, then, can we live forever? Chen Ang shook his head like that adobe brick at the kill head. It looks like it, but it can't withstand the wind and rain. The monkey scratched his ears and cheeks, and hurriedly asked for advice. What is Yeo to adobe? Chen Ang said, it is easy to live forever, but it goes against the common sense of life and death. Therefore, every 500 years, heaven and earth will come to kill you. In the first 500 years, there will be a thunder disaster from the sky. You need to understand your heart and see your nature. Avoid in advance. If you can escape, you will be free for another 500 years. Can't hide, it's ashes. In the next 500 years, a fire will fall from the sky to burn you. This fire is neither ordinary fire nor yang fire, but a yin fire that cuts bones and burns the internal organs. Burning to Niwen Palace is extremely dangerous. If you can escape it, you will be free for another 500 years. In the third 500 years, there will be a wind that pierces you. This wind is not the ordinary warm wind, nor the cold wind from the north, but a wind that blows from the fontanelle into the 6 organs, then passes through the dantian, and enters the body. 9 orifices. At that time, the bones and flesh will disappear, and the body will know its solution. These 3 disasters are not easy to live with. In the secular world, you often hear that there are thunderbolts from the clear sky that kill strange beasts in the mountains. It is the fairy who cannot escape the 3 disasters, and hundreds of years of hard work in practice are reduced to ashes in one day. Sad, deplorable. Therefore, this goblin's magic of immortality is made of adobe. It seems to be something like that, but when it is beaten by wind and rain, it turns into mud and has no end. At this time, after hearing Chen Ang's explanation, the monkey's eyelids were beating wildly, and he felt frightened. He repeatedly begged, teacher, how can I bear to see every result of my disciple? I don't want to practice this immortality, I don't want to practice it. Please teach me a method to avoid disasters and achieve immortality, so that I can avoid the 3 disasters and have a chance to achieve success. Chen Ang smiled and said, I also know this technique to avoid the 3 disasters, but... As he spoke, Chen Ang changed the topic, looked at the fairy boy, and said with a smile, why do you bother begging me? Look at that fairy boy, he has received Subhudi's decree and is waiting for you at this door. Obviously, that Subhudi has the heart to cultivate you. He has the art of transformation. One transformation is 1 life, the 36 heavens are 36 lives. The 72 evil spirits are 72 lives, and the 3 disasters are how many lives can it cost you? What can I do to you? Upon hearing this, the monkey was stunned, and he subconsciously turned to look at the fairy boy. But he saw that the fairy boy frowned, obviously dissatisfied with him. The monkey couldn't help but cry secretly. He didn't even bow to the door wall, but he hated the senior brother first. If he bowed to the door wall, how could he be as good as him? He looked at Chen Ang's face again, but what he saw was that Chen Ang's face was as calm as water, with no indication of likes or dislikes. After all, he is also a smart stone monkey, born with intelligence. When he saw Chen Ang's expression, he suddenly felt blessed and hurriedly bowed and said, I don't bother 2 masters, even though the great magic power of Patriarch Subhudi is a true immortal, but he didn't give me any guidance. But the founder taught me sincerely and he is a master of the Tao. Why should I abandon the near and seek the far away? I ask the founder to show mercy and enlighten his disciples. Chen Ang looked at the monkey with some humor. You slutty monkey, Do you know how much of an opportunity you have missed? Patriarch Subhuti has 3,000 disciples, but few of them have received the true teaching. Now, he has sent people to collect you, and I am sure you will get the true teaching in the future. You have gained favor, I will block him again at the door. It was as if I had intercepted his disciple. How would it be appropriate to tell anyone about this? Moreover, this Patriarch Subhuti is also a rare powerful person in the three realms, but he is unwilling to reveal his own identity. After you learn the skills from him, although you are not allowed to reveal your birth and cannot borrow power, it is still remarkable. Opportunity. I'll make my words clear and you can think about it carefully so that you don't regret it later and embarrass me. Chen Ang said it clearly and clearly. First of all, he did not belittle the Bodhi Patriarch and said that the Bodhi Patriarch was a powerful person. However, the Bodhi Patriarch could not be used as a backer, but could only be a mentor who preached and received his karma. But Subhuti's true biography is not something that ordinary people can compare with. It's just that, the monkey is more clever. He knew that he had hated the Patriarch Bodhi by hesitating and refusing to follow the boy. He didn't know the reason, but he thought, in this case, Patriarch Bodhi will definitely not support him. Instead of doing this, it is better to worship Chen Ang. He immediately said, I won't change, I won't change. Please take me in, teacher. As soon as he said these words, he already expressed his intention. At this time, a faint sigh came from the sunset moon 3-star cave. Immediately, a golden light flew out from the cave. Chen Ang pinched the thing as a novice. It fell into the palm of his hand. When he took a closer look, it turned out to be a golden Bodhi seed. He smiled slightly, looked at the monkey and said, you are a monkey, this is a good opportunity. Although you have abandoned the Bodhi Patriarch, he still pities you. You have great qualifications, and you are giving me a Bodhi seed. You are pitiful for the poor, and you are a bad person to your neighbors. You have no shame in staying in Lingtai Fankan Mountain. These words were obviously said to the Patriarch Bodhi. Of course, all the words he said to the monkey before were also said to the Patriarch Bodhi. Now looking at it, it is obvious that all the previous conversations between him and the monkey were attributed to the Patriarch Bodhi. In the ears. This is also normal. After all, it was heard by the Bodhi Patriarch in Lingtai Fankan Mountain. He had already made up his mind. And now, Chen Ang directly handed the golden Bodhi seed in his hand to the monkey. This Bodhi seed is naturally for monkeys. Not for him. Immediately, Chen Ang spoke again. It's not impossible to accept you, but I have to make it clear that I will live forever. There are several kinds of techniques, I will tell you and you will judge yourself. If you don't learn the ordinary method of breathing in the aura of heaven and earth, the essence of the sun and the moon, I also know the art of change, but there are only 9 changes. However, this art of change does not take the shape of animals, but changes in the universe. There are 5 innate Taoists, and the number is 5. I will take 9 of them, and I can give you 9 lives. When the monkey heard this, it was much different from the 36 and 72 changes. But where does he have any choice now? One life can last 500 years, and these 9 lives will last 4,500 years. At least, it seemed enough. The monkey immediately said, I am willing to learn, I am willing to learn. My disciple is willing to learn. Wait a minute. Chen Ang said, let me explain clearly, the pros and cons, and the hidden dangers. The monkey immediately stopped talking and listened quietly to Chen Ang's story. As he listened, Chen Ang said, although this transformation technique can avoid 3 disasters, it is illegal immortality and has endless hidden dangers. Illegal immortality? What the hell is this? Chen Ang said with a smile, in this world, in addition to the nature of heaven and earth, there are also heaven and earth mountains that take care of you. If you don't leave your name in the immortal book, you have to determine your life and death in the book of life and death. Even if you escape 3 disasters, but without immortality, it does not mean you have achieved positive results. Without positive results, you still have a lifespan. When your lifespan is up, the king of hell will send an imp to get you. By then, who will care whether you live forever or not? This is called illegal immortality. If you don't become an immortal, you will just live an ignoble existence, which will be very embarrassing. This. The monkey scratched his head and scratched his head. He didn't expect such a saying. He hurriedly asked, does the patriarch have any solution? I see that the monsters in the world are hundreds or even thousands of years old, and I don't see any little ghosts coming to trouble them. Those monsters. Chen Ang paused and said with a smile, they have certainly beaten away the ghosts and driven away the impermanence. They all have great magical powers. How can the ghosts dare to catch them? Moreover, the world of monsters is also relevant. Those who are called saints and ancestors, even the king of hell does not dare to offend the monsters. If they get angry, the Senluo palace will be shaken. Therefore, no ghost dares to claim his life. After saying that, Chen Ang pointed to the west again and said, here thousands of miles to the west, there is a kingdom of lions and camels. It is 800 miles wide and has 48,000 demons. They are protected by the great demon. The king of hell does not dare to take his life, and the gods do not dare to subjugate the demons. They are very comfortable. In this way, illegal immortality seems not bad. It's not even a hidden danger. The monkey said, and then asked curiously, I dare to ask the ancestor, what are the hidden dangers? He. Chen Ang smiled that way, he would really be a monster. What do you think is a monster? What is a demon? The monkey then asked back. Just then, Chen Ang sneered and said, demon, it doesn't matter whether you are a monkey or a ghost, a dragon, or a leopard. So what if you are human? As long as you disobey the heaven, disobey the spiritual mountain, and go against the laws of the gods, you will be a monster. Only those who have immortal books, respect the laws of the heavenly mountain, and enter the Shinto system can be called immortals. The rest are all monsters. And demons, do you really think that the gods and Buddhas in the sky won't come to subjugate demons and eliminate demons? Once the catastrophe begins, the heavenly court will mobilize its army, bringing millions of soldiers and horses, to come and destroy it. And among the gods and Buddhas in the sky, you beat the younger one, and here comes the older one. If you beat the heavenly general, the Star King will come. If you drive away the Star King, the Bodhisattva will come. There is a Buddha behind the Bodhisattva, and the mountains of heaven are colluding. Even if you are 0.6 rampant, can you still knock down the lotus seat of the Tathagata Buddha? So, no matter how happy the demons are, every word is recorded in the book of heaven. When the liquidation comes in the future, no one on the list will be missing, and they will all be robbed. Or, they will be taken as mounts and used as pets. Of course, this is Zhaoan again. Chen looked up and spoke clearly. The monkey was stupid again, and he said, isn't this monster eating people? He. Chen Ang smiled and shook his head. Although monsters that don't eat people are rare, they are not unheard of. Many monsters either want to seek righteousness, or they are pure in nature and have never eaten people and done evil. But if they want to be haunted, they have to drive away the ghosts. Drive away the ghosts and become demons. Besides, what does eating people or not eating people have to do with demons? Although those immortals now look like dogs and have high morals and respect, how many people did they eat before they became immortals? Don't you see, the Peacock King of the West can eat 40,000 people in a country with just one mouth. Which monster in the world is as cruel as him? In short, those who have immortality are gods, and those who do not have immortality and still fight against heaven are demons. Of course, when you become a god, you have to be controlled and you can't eat people casually. Can't you just eat people? The monkey's heart moved and he frowned. What do you mean you can't eat people casually? Does it mean that after becoming a god, you can still eat people under special circumstances? At this moment, the monkey had a deep understanding of the three realms of darkness. Despair. At the same time, countless people in the world heard Chen Ang's words, and their faces were wonderful. It is obviously a normal world of cultivating immortals. Why is it so dark when it comes to Chen Ang's mouth? How can this be journey to the west? This is a black myth. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 242. At this time, countless people looked at what was happening on the screen, and their expressions changed. It seems that Chen Ang has always been like this, doing something unique and turning some white things into black ones. But if you want to say that he is fair, after Chen Ang explained and analyzed it, it seems that he is really evil again. It couldn't be any darker. This is a black myth. At this time, countless people's eyes flickered, looking at everything that happened in the picture. At this time, it was seen that the monkey subconsciously clenched his fists after hearing Chen Ang's words. He couldn't help but ask, it's hard to be a god. Do all those who want to live forever have to become demons? Yes, is it possible that all monks in the world and all those who are not registered are demons? Who the hell can reason with this? However, at this time, Chen Ang smiled and shook his head and said, there are so many wise and profound monks in this world. They can even create ways to avoid the three disasters, let alone avoid the book of life and death. Speaking of this, Chen Ang paused, and then said, this is another method of immortality, and it's called corpse Jixian. But the monks in the world who have not obtained the immortal book before their yang life is exhausted, and if you don't want to be reincarnated, you must practice the method of corpse dissolving immortality. Corpse Jixian? What is Xian? Monkey asked. This corpse execution immortal. Chen Ang said, it is to refine your soul to be like a god, call it the soul, and then calculate the days until the ghost comes, or use Taoist friends to fight. Or take advantage of the disasters of heaven and earth, without the knowledge of gods or ghosts, to escape the soul. The body was left there, and when the ghost saw it, he felt that the soul of the cannibal was gone, so he went back and asked the judge to check off the name. After the ghost has left, the soul will come back and either escape into the corpse again, or take over the corpse and borrow a stick, clothes, and sword to escape. From then on, there is no name in the book of life and death, also known as the corpse Jixian, also known as the San Xian. After becoming a loose immortal, you can either go to the 3 mountains and 5 mountains, where the loose immortals gather, to continue practicing, or you can live in seclusion and live happily until you have the opportunity to find 3 or 2 friends in the court. With the help and support, you will enter the immortal book and achieve the right fruit. The monkey's eyes lit up as he listened. This is a good method, this method is good. Good. Chen Ang glanced at the monkey and said calmly, if you don't achieve positive results, you will end up in ashes. What's the good thing? The Sangxians Iao you only watched for 25. As everyone knows, they are just a bunch of homeless dogs. They live in the shadow of heaven all day long. They have to fawn over the gods and beg them to support them in the future. They also have to hide their heads and tail for fear of being noticed by heaven. When the disaster comes, they will eventually turn into dogs. Fly ashes. The monkey was stunned for a moment, a little confused. At this time, Chen Ang continued, of course, today's immortal cultivators in the world are no longer like the loose immortals in the past. Their predecessors became immortals and became ancestors. And also have a relationship with the heavenly court. The 4 great heavenly masters are their backers in the heavenly court. They only need to wait for the establishment of the heavenly court. When the time comes, and a decree from the heavenly book is issued, they can enter the immortal book and become an immortal directly. Although such a Sanren 4 can still be called a Sanren 4, in fact, he is already a preparatory immortal in heaven. The king of hell does not dare to cause trouble for them. As long as he hides in the cave, he will become an immortal just by waiting. The monkey was thoughtful and asked subconsciously, isn't this those sects and sects? Yes, it's the sect. Chen Ang nodded and said there are ancestors who became immortals, and those who practice these ancestors' methods are their own sect. They called themselves the upright sects of famous families, and they were disdainful of talking with those loose immortals. Later, they no longer called themselves loose immortals. Instead, they took a personal name and called themselves human immortals, which can be regarded as the five immortals. Among five immortals, the monkey was a little surprised. He had never thought that there were these doorways among them, and he hurriedly asked teacher, what do you think this five immortals' true fruit is? How many positive results are there in this world? Naturally, there are only 5 of the 5 immortals' true fruits. Chen Ang smiled. This Genkuo is not some kind of spiritual practice, nor is it magical power, it is just a simple preparation, it's equivalent to an official position in the secular world. It is said that there are 5 immortals in Jotian, who are gods, humans, and ghosts in heaven and earth. I told you that the human immortal is the preparatory immortal from before. As for the remaining 4, it can be said that among them, the gods and immortals are all immortals in the heaven, but their positions are different. Those who move the heaven and earth have actual duties, such as the dragon king of the 4 seas, who moves clouds and rain, and the star kings of the heavens, who carry out the affairs of the heavens. Wait, this is a god. In the words of immortals, they are those noble officials who live freely in all corners of the world. They have no real power and no position. These are the immortals. As for ghosts and immortals, they are the establishment under the command of Lord Yama in the underworld. This is the ghosts and immortals. The last earthly immortal was Yuanzi from Wangguan town in Wanqiao mountain. He had a high seniority, a respected status, and a ginseng and fruit tree. He could bless people with immortality even if he did not have the immortal status in heaven. The Jade Emperor was not easy to control, so he had to grant him the title of immortal. He gave him the title of the ancestor of the earth immortals, and asked those earth immortals who had been blessed by Zhen Yuanzi to enter the treasure book of heaven and earth, and obtain the earth immortals, which are commonly known as land immortals. This kind of immortals are also drunk and carefree, and are the most comfortable. You just have to mind your own business, but you have entered the system. When the monkey heard this, his eyes rolled. It turns out that these are the 5 immortals of Jotian. But then, he thought of something again. With a thought in his mind, he immediately asked out of curiosity, but the disciple heard that Tathagata Buddha of the West, it is also an excellent achievement to lead the Buddha, Bodhisattva, Arhat, and Vajra. Why are there not these among the 5 immortals? Not one of the 5 immortals? Haha. Chen Ang smiled. Who told you that there are only 5 immortals among the 5 immortals in Jotian? There are actually 6 Jotian 5 immortals. That human immortal was just making up the numbers, and could not be considered a serious person at all. And that lineage of Lingshan is called the Great Enlightenment Golden Immortal. This is the 6th immortal, the Golden Immortal. There are 6 of the 5 immortals in Jotian, which are in line with the Great Road of Heaven and Earth. It's just that, the lineage of Golden Immortals is not controlled by the Jade Emperor, so they are hidden and not mentioned, so as not to make him look bad, so he added the preparatory immortals and got the title of personal immortal. So that's it, that's it? The monkey murmured, and then sighed. I, who was born and raised and have no one to rely on, how difficult is it for me to achieve positive results? Chen Ang looked at the monkey like this and just shook his head. The monkey was sad for a while, then looked at Chen Ang again, bowed down quickly, and said quickly, thank you very much, teacher, for your kindness today, otherwise, I would have been searching for 100 years and nothing would happen. It's hard to find the right result. Alas. Chen Ang sighed. Immortal life is easy to come by, but good fruit is hard to find. I heard that the old lady who lives in heaven came to the mortal world more than 80 years ago, and now works as a keeper of the Tibetan chamber under the command of Emperor Zhou. This is one of the few in the world. Great virtue, his status in heaven is extraordinary. If you want to achieve a positive result by being serious about your teachings, you have no other choice but him. This monkey frowned. Teacher, I'm not related to that Supreme Lejun, so how can I get his support? Chen Ang smiled. If you just want to get a positive result, then go kill people and set fires, and accept the imperial edict. That's even worse. What's the difference between this and kneeling on the ground begging for food? The monkey waved his hands again and again. Chen Ang was a little amused. After thinking about it, he said, I asked you to hate Na Subhuti and delay your future. In this way, I will give you a chance. You and I can go to me. I am asking for a favor from Taoist fellow taking, so that you can get the right result. When the monkey heard this, he knelt down quickly and said, Teacher treats me with great kindness, why do I have to drive my disciple away again? Since I was born, my disciple has been confused and confused. I have gone through many hardships to know good and evil. Today, I can see the teacher and know my future. I just want to be a disciple of the teacher and be an ineffective disciple. Apart from the teacher, I don't know anyone else. You monkey, you don't know the magical power of fellow Taoist taking. Chen Ang opened his mouth and explained, this world is your parents, just like fellow Taoist taking is your parents. The kindness of a poor Taoist is just a momentary guidance, how can it be worth the virtue of nature? You are still ignorant now. When you understand in the future, won't you blame me? Get up, get up. Chen Ang said, waving his sleeves, and in the next second, he took the monkey and headed to Nanzan Buzhu, Luoyang, the capital of Zhou. Today's world is the period of the Zhou dynasty. And today, named King Zhoujing. In the 4th year of King Zhoujing's reign, there was civil strife in Luoyang. This year, a lot of things happened, it was chaotic anyway. And I originally wanted to leave Luoyang with the classics. But later, because of the capital, he didn't leave because of some of the problems, and was still treating him as a Tibetan historian. And in the autumn of this year, Chen Ang brought the monkey to Luoyang, intending to meet Lao Tzu. During the period of King Jing of Zhou, it could also be regarded as Zhou dynasty. It is the end of the dynasty. It is called the spring and autumn period. The reason why it is called the spring and autumn period is because spring and autumn are the times of harvesting. As the saying goes, sowing in spring and harvesting in autumn. Since there is food, it is natural to go to war. Basically, during this period, wars were fought either in the spring or in the autumn, and for some other reasons, it was finally called the spring and autumn period. Today's Zhou dynasty is declining more and more, and it has long lost its former aloofness, and its restrictions on the vassal states have also become more and more strict. They are getting smaller and smaller. Therefore, as Chen Ang and Monkey walked along, they saw all the princes fighting and fighting. The further they went to Luoyang, the more desolate they became. There were simply ruins and broken walls, and dry wells were deserted. The autumn wind rustled, and it was extremely desolate. The pedestrians, even more hungry, skinny, even skinnier than a monkey like him. The more he walked, the more desolate the monkey felt. The autumn wind was chilly, and the further he reached Luoyang, the more heartbroken he became. Not long after, he and Chen Ang were already standing outside Luoyang city. At this time, Luoyang city was not long ago due to the chaos of the Prince dynasty, and it was still stained by war. This was the time of autumn harvest and farming, so how could you see the desolation of the people? Bones fell everywhere, ghosts and wolves howled in the wind. This is Luoyang. Monkeys are not a taste, and for a moment, I didn't know what to say. And Chen Ang, dressed as a Taoist priest, walked into the city without caring about everything around him. go. And the monkey, also wearing clothes, like a person, followed Chen Ang, and no one stopped him. Chen Ang and the monkey entered Luoyang city like this. Chen Ang could know where I was just by looking at his chi. At the same time, I also saw another chi, which must have been a saint and sage. There are also explanations for these two chi. Chen Ang knew with just a little calculation that one of them was Lao Tzu, and the other was Confucius from Lu. So, he took the monkey and walked over there. However, before he could step forward, a tall man with a long beard suddenly stepped forward, saluted Chen Ang, and immediately said, "Sage, wait a moment, we are on our way." Is the master's disciple. I just heard that the sage is a celestial being who has the ability to look at the chi. He must be a sage in the world. He is willing to lead the way and recommend the master. Thank you, Chen Ang smiled and nodded. With Zi Lu leading the way, Chen Ang didn't need to look at him. The group of 2 people and 1 monkey headed towards where I was. Along the way, Zi Lu was also curious and asked several times. He asked Chen Ang for advice. The more he asked, the more surprised he became. Good guy, you really know everything about astronomy, geography, and grammar of various countries. He respected him more and more. After arriving at a hut, he hurriedly entered and invited the 2 saints to come out. Not long after, someone walked out of the thatched house. The first person was an old man with a mysterious appearance, yellow and white hair, and long eyebrows. His forehead was even wider, his ears were unusually long, his eyes were bright, and he had a square mouth and thick lips. Behind him, there was a middle-aged man, tall and different from ordinary people. Even if he was wearing a long gown, his fierce aura could not help but exude. And Nazilu, right behind the middle-aged man, respectfully. Obviously, of these 2 people, the old man is Lao Tzu, and the middle-aged man is Confucius. After bowing, Chen Ang bowed to Lao Tzu again and said, "I have seen master taking." Behind, the monkey followed Chen Ang's example and paid homage. And when Confucius and Lao Tzu arrived, they just smiled and nodded. They invited Chen Ang into the house, and the 3 of them left first. The monkey watched the 3 of them enter the house. At this time, he asked in a low voice when the teacher met Patriarch Bodhi, he didn't see any etiquette and spoke with disdain. "Now that I see these 2 mortals, why do I pay such a big courtesy? And why did you salute the old man first and then half a salute? Ha ha." Chen Ang smiled and explained, "Subhuti is only my descendant, how can he be my gift? He is just a fully enlightened person who has some connections with fellow practitioners. As for me, I salute Lao Dan twice. The former is to respect Lao Zi, and the latter is to respect taking. Confucius and Laodan are my sages, so he deserves a salute from me. Although taking has great supernatural powers, he is just a fellow disciple. He is not worthy of a courtesy from me, so he can only give me half a courtesy, most of which depends on his and my status as host and guest." Listening to Chen Ang's words, he just felt confused and shocked. Although he couldn't understand, he felt that Chen Ang was so pretentious. What does it mean to be too clear and powerful and not worthy of the teacher's half courtesy? Moreover, a half salute, but also to consider the status of host and guest? What is the origin of this teacher? Monkey really can't understand. It's normal for him to not understand. Chen Ang is not just an identity. In different worlds, he has different identities. In that ex-police world, he was Apocalypse, but later, he gave the name of Apocalypse to his creation and became Messiah Apocalypse. In other worlds, he also has other identities. At present, the most awesome thing is probably the identity of Leader Chen. He is a leader-level existence in the parallel world of immortality, and the highest status of immortality. However, he has also crisscrossed the timeline and belongs to the highest level. Therefore, Chen Anke he would say that taking was just a comrade of his. Before, he saluted Confucius and Lao Dan entirely because of his identity as a Han. The later half-courtesy was just because he came to this world, the world of journey to the west opened by taking. Only then did he give Tai Ching a half-ceremony. The monkey was thoughtful. Immediately, he followed Chen Ang into the house. At this time, Chen Ang, Confucius, and Lao Zi sat down to discuss Tao. For 3 more days, they continued to discuss Tao. These 3 people are all wise and knowledgeable people in this world. Lao Zi, Confucius, and Angzi. One is the originator of Taoism, one is a sage of Confucianism and Taoism, and the other is a Guobi. However, Guobi is a Guobi, but he has real talent. He is a practical learner. He can talk about etiquette and law well. He can also talk about governing a country. There is no problem with morals and morals. The monkey who was just listening scratched his ears and cheeks, and Zilu was also thinking hard. However, after listening to this, so did the monkey intelligent, although he is half-informed, he has also learned from Confucius that he is one part like a human being, one part Lao Dan Wubai is compassionate and godlike, and the other part, his animal nature has not yet been shed, and he has learned a part of the devilish nature from Chen Ang. This on the surface, the monkey is a wise man and a talented person, but on the inside, he is a rebellious monkey who despises the deep evil nature of all things. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 243. This monkey may become increasingly difficult to predict in the future. The more I don't know what will happen to this monkey in the future. Tisk, making a big fuss in the heavenly palace is a trivial matter. Part human, part monkey, part devil. Tisk tisk, after accepting Chen Ang's philosophy, you still want to go back to the past. That's impossible. At this time, countless people were discussing, looking at everything in the picture, and everyone was amazed. And at this time, it was seen that in the picture. On this day, the old man was watching the monkey sweeping the floor outside the door, and suddenly as soon as I thought about it, I called him in. The monkey hurriedly entered the door and bowed his head. Just then, I said, I have some fate with you. I already know what Taoist friend Chen means. Let me ask you, what is your surname? The monkey raised his head and wanted to say, but hesitated. I have no name and no surname. I was born and raised. I just hope that the teacher will give me a name. As he said that, he looked at Chen Ang eagerly. Chen Ang was a little funny. What are you looking at me doing? I've already said it before, this person in front of you is half your parent, how come you don't have a surname? The monkey was stunned and said subconsciously, is my surname Lao? I am still a Ziyuao monkey, and I only want to live forever. If I have this surname, after I go back, I will be called Lao Da Wang, and I will be called Monkey Ho Sun, and I will become an old monkey again, an old Hosen, and my seniority will be higher out of thin air. Senior, I went overseas to learn about immortality. As a result, after I returned, I got my old surname, and this and this. He was a little anxious. It's not that he dislikes it. It's just that this old man's surname is really unbearable. I smiled. Since you don't want to be named Lao and want to live forever, then give your surname Sun. Sun. Either Lao or Sun. It's better to be an old man, but it's better to be a grandson. The monkey's expression changed. But before he could say anything, Chen Ang also smiled and said, you monkey, on the surface you are a talented person, but on the inside you are unruly. If you have an untamed temper and would rather bend than bend, you will definitely cause great trouble in the future. Well, this is also your natural ferocity and stubborn willfulness. Coupled with the devilish nature learned here as a teacher, I don't expect you to succeed. If you are a master of Taoism and can break the stubborn stone but still don't know Wukong, Just call him Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, Sun Wukong. Although Monkey doesn't like the surname Sun, he doesn't want to be old, so he should be Sunday. How can this be done? However, Chen Ang chose a name, and when combined with Sun Wukong, it feels like he was born with this name. He was immediately overjoyed and had been in a sexless trance for 300 years. Only now did he know my real name. Sun Wukong worshipped taking again and thanked Chen Ang again. Immediately afterwards, in the next 10 days, he rode in front of 3 people, learned etiquette and ethics from Confucius, listened to Lao Tzu's moral in action, and finally was taught by Chen Ang and became proficient in natural science. He also followed Zilu to learn language, politeness, and calligraphy. Anyway, it's like this every day. When I was a fairy, I would sweep the floor and weed, find firewood for cooking, and pick fruits. Then we have to take care of the cowshed. I have a green cow, and he often goes to take care of the cow. Everything the 3 saints use is prepared. Whenever the 3 of them were about to preach, he and Zilu would sit at attention and listen. In this way, a month later, Confucius took Zilu and left. And this month, Sun Wukong is also serious. He is already smart, and coupled with his humility in asking for advice, he has already developed the Taoism. The true meaning is that one knows yin and yang, knows people and things, can observe things, knows the front and back, everything is clear, and can avoid death and prolong life. This month, I have been with Zilu for a long time and have become good friends. After he attained Taoism, he also knew the way of life and death. He knew somewhere that if he went this way, he might be in trouble or even die a good death. But he couldn't speak. Just when I was riding the cow, I touched the back of the green cow and couldn't help but feel sad. Zilu, Zilu, there is no way to see you again. It's dangerous to go here, where will your soul go? He was murmuring alone, but he didn't expect a voice. Suddenly sounded. He has his own destiny. You will surely achieve positive results in the next life. I have heard Confucius say these days, if you hear the Tao in the morning, you will die in the evening. Although Zhong Yu is in trouble with swords and weapons, he has his soul to rely on and has a bright future. I'm afraid the achievements in the next life will be higher than those of you and me, so why should you be sad? Afterlife? Who will he be in the next life? Who am I? What to talk about? The monkey answered casually, but as he said it, he felt something was wrong and turned his head suddenly to look at the green cow. At this time, Qing Niu also looked at the monkey and blinked, just like a human being, with wisdom and agility. The monkey was shocked, his hair stood on end, he took a step back suddenly, and shouted, "Monster! Where did the monster come from? How dare you turn into a cow raised by an old man?" The green cow was also angry. "You are a monster, your whole family is a monster. You just have a human form, the clothes you wear, and the etiquette you talk about, but you look down on people who are also wearing hair and horns. You are a stone monkey sitting in front of Saint Chen Ang, and I am also a green bull with flat horns sitting in front of Lejun. Same breed but different. I thought you were a loyal person, but I didn't expect you to look down on me like this." When the monkey heard this, he immediately came back to his senses and knew that he had said something wrong, so he quickly explained, "Brother, you keep silent, just like an ordinary cow. How did I know that you also have spirituality? I just said something unpleasant and offended Brother Niu. Please forgive Brother Niu." After hearing these words, Qing Niu calmed down. As the saying goes, those who don't know are not guilty, and he indeed said it suddenly, which startled the monkey. He hummed twice and said, "It is rare for a mortal to be too meddlesome. Grandpa Lejun is always here, how dare I cause trouble to him? It is also today that you and I are alone and we are different people, so I opened my mouth to you. If don't talk to me in front of mortals, lest you get into trouble." "Yes, yes, yes," the monkey nodded quickly. "Good luck to you too." King Yu said again. Then Master Chen Ang, I also heard him mention it, is an incarnation of the infinite heavenly Lord. When Grandpa Lejun created the world, Yuking and Shang-Ching refused to come to the world, and the master was angry. Before transforming into the three pure ones, I had intended to invite the infinite heavenly Lord to occupy the position of Yuking Wanjie, but the infinite heavenly Lord refused to refuse, so I gave up. Now, the master has lost his duty. He originally wanted to go west to hang pass to Huahu, but he only stopped for a while because of the visit of two saints. Now that the leader of Confucius has left, and the infinite heavenly Lord invites him, it is time to set off west to hang. Since you have the honor to worship under the seat of the infinite God, why don't you quickly pack your luggage, prepare the carriage for me, and carry the two saints westward? Monkey listened to Lao Niu's words, and his eyes widened unconsciously. Damn it, his teacher has such a terrifying origin. But he didn't expect it to be so terrifying. Infinite Heavenly Lord? It turns out that the teacher's real name is Infinite Heavenly Lord? Monkey feeling ecstatic, he quickly thanked the old cow and saw that the old cow had eaten the grass and went back with the cow. Then, Chen Ang gave the monkey a gold boat and changed the magic weapon into a carriage frame. Then, the monkey he took the green ox, packed his luggage, and drove the two of them to Hang Pass. In the car, because Confucius had left, Chen Ang and Laozi naturally returned to their original appearance. That one was the Taoist God, clear and ethereal. Taoism is natural, and the whole body is also the two qi of yin and yang. This is the infinite heavenly Lord, formless and immeasurable, immeasurable and wonderful, and the whole body is like the Big Bang of the universe. This one talks about yin and yang. That one talks about fusion. This point of vitality. That collapse dimension. One talks about Taoism and the other talks about science. The two are completely different, but they are talking about something very mysterious, and there is a real truth in it. The two of them they talked about all kinds of magical powers, techniques, and principles. As for Monkey, just hearing the Tao and magical techniques explained by the two men made him overjoyed. The great principles and great magical powers seemed to come at his fingertips. That's how crazy he is. He can even take out fruits and put them on the roadside casually. If he reaches out a little, the fruits will take root, grow vines, and bear fruit. Along the way, he just offers fruits to the two saints. At the same time, they waved their hands, and a large grassland appeared for the green cattle to graze. Along the way, stopping and walking, Chen Ang and Lao Tzu lectured for as long as the monkeys listened. Just listening, he benefited a lot, gained Taoism, and had magical powers. Unknowingly, after 3 or 5 months, he finally approached Hang Pass. The monkey saw Yin 11, the guard of Hang Pass, and heard that Yin 11 asked for advice. Lao Tzu asked Chen Ang for advice. Lao Tzu's way, Chen Ang's way. I am naturally in action, Chen Ang is naturally demonic. As for the monkey, he listens to what others say. He listened to Chen Ang's talk about the changes in heaven's evolution and the way of human development. But it runs through the principles of human beings transforming from animals to humans. He attained Taoism and preached to the three saints Lao, Chen, and Kong. At this point, he understood human nature, understood that humans are also animals, have wisdom and morality, and there is no distinction between animals and humans. He understood the difference between wisdom and morality, as well as nature and animal nature. He also came into contact with the way of all things in nature. It can be said that his knowledge is so high that there are few in the world. In Chen Ang, he gained the knowledge of selfishness, greed, anger, and ignorance. The demonic nature of Confucius. From Confucius, he learned human ethics and the human nature of killing people according to etiquette. And from Laozi, he gained the divinity of quietness and high morals. At this point, he has all three of human nature, divinity, and demonic nature. Those Taoist practices are already countless. Monkeys are like this, and Yin 11 wants to leave his official career and leave with me. Unfortunately, it is obviously not possible. After Yin 11 left, Chen Ang looked at me and said, when I look at the four continents, all sentient beings are good and evil, and they are all different. Na Dongsheng Shenzhou, respect the heaven and earth, and worship the gods. It has almost no concept of itself, just like grass and trees. Although it is pure, it also lacks some actions. It is like a big tree. If there is a disaster, it will surely suffer. But that giant northern luz who is fighting for its life between heaven and earth. In order to survive, it mostly imitates the ancients, has a clumsy nature and alienated emotions, and learns from beasts. Zeniu has who, however, is indifferent and content with the status quo. He has almost become a doll of gods and Buddhas, like a domesticated animal in captivity. Only in this Nanfangbu continent, there are people with noble conduct, and there are also people who are striving for change, who seek to develop the Tao and are not obsessed with immortals and Buddhas. It is a world of great struggle and a place of humanity. The morality of other continents is actually the morality of the gods and saints. On the surface, it seems to be the teachings of the gods, but in fact, it is just confinement and captivity. Any slight change is divine punishment. Only Nanfanbuz who has found its own way and developed its own way. Searching from top to bottom is the way to find the way. I pity the sentient beings in Zeniu and Hezhu. Their classes are solidified and their humanity has not developed. They raise livestock for Lingshan. They are not worthy of being human at all. It is really pitiful. The Holy Buddha confuses the world with the paradise of paradise, and is paranoid and separated from matter. Tigers, leopards, and elk are friendly, and all living things do not fight or kill. It seems to be liberation, but in fact it is sinking. I have the Tao of freedom, which can liberate all living beings. Upon hearing this, the monkey hurriedly asked, "Teacher, how can we save all sentient beings?" Immediately, Chen Ang started his fallacy again. If it remains unchanged, it is just a pool of stagnant water, and it is the sea of suffering. Only when everyone respects themselves, tigers and leopards are greedy to kill, officials are cruel, and people are greedy, angry, and crazy. Only in this way can we argue eloquently and be like a plate of living water. Only in this way can there be competition, enjoyment, desire, and freedom, and everyone can be free and not restricted. Only unfettered thoughts can develop and make continuous progress. That spiritual mountain in the West, which imprisons people's desires, is really a great evil, the chief evil. I was about to spread the Dharma to the West and establish the way of freedom of desire, but what could I do? The Lingshan mountain was stubborn, the Buddha was stupid, and the Buddhas in the Great Thunder Sound Temple were numb, greedy, and superstitious among humans. They worshipped and worshipped. They were really a cancer in the world and a burden to evolution. When the monkey heard this, he felt it made sense and asked again, "Master, what do you want to do?" "Wukong, you and I are going west to liberate sentient beings, not to fight against the Lingshan mountain. I know that the Lingshan mountain is huge and Tathagata is stubborn and refuses to listen to his advice. If you and I go here, we are just destroying his dharma and fighting with him with our ideas." Chen Ang said, from Zhao, looked to the west, and said with a smile, "I really want to turn Hu into a Buddha, sneak into his sect, wear his cassock, destroy his dharma, use the name of a monk, and practice the way of a human being. He tells all sentient beings to restrain their desires and refine their spirits. I want all sentient beings in Zeniu and Hezhu to obey human desires and pay attention to reality. We are spreading humanity to the west and recreating sentient beings." At this moment, following Chen Ang's words, countless people in the world all widened their eyes. Immediately, their faces were full of confusion, and their minds were filled with confusion. Damn it, this old demon Chen really showed off his fangs. "Worry, what are you saying?" "Ha ha ha, let me just say it, Buddhism is a cancer." This time, I stand with old Mo Chen. "What is Mr. Chen?" Master Chen. Ha ha ha, Master Chen, yes, 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 Lord. Tisk tisk, cowhide, just cowhide, I call it cowhide. But I am uneducated, so I can tell the world with just one word. Good guy. Sure enough, old Mo Chen took action against Buddhism. Here, here. What is level? What is culture? This is called leveling, this is called speaking. Na Lingshan is stubborn, Buddha is stupid, and Dalayan Temple is insensitive. Tisk, tisk, cancer, this is a cancer. From the very beginning, when I saw Chen Ang traveling to the world of martial arts and expressing his views on Buddhism, I knew that Chen Ang would definitely do something to Buddhism in the future. I never imagined how he would do it. Ha ha ha, isn't this a state of mind? Tisk tisk, Tathagata Buddha. When Chen Ang arrived, he became stubborn and refused to listen to advice. Killing me. Cancer, tisk tisk, Buddhism is such a cancer. Not to mention, from the perspective of human development, Buddhism is a cancer. Dehumanizing and restricting development, what else is this if not a cancer? Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 244. At this time, countless people were discussing, looking at everything that happened on the screen, and sneered. At the same time, they were somewhat looking forward to what Chen Ang wanted to do and how to exterminate the Buddhist sect. Just when countless people were thinking this way, they saw that a new picture appeared in the Dao Golden List. In the picture, Sun Wukong was getting better and better in his Taoism because of this period of time. And he really didn't understand the various advanced mathematical puzzles, quantum physics, advanced chemistry, space physics, fluid mechanics, etc. that Chen Gang gave him. The key is that Chen Ang also left him homework. How have monkeys ever experienced this? I had no other choice, so I lied and said I had done my homework. As a result, I was blown away by a strange gust of wind. It's very similar to the saying that when he was in school, he didn't do his homework seriously and said that his homework was bitten by a dog. Chen Ang naturally understood this clearly, and then deliberately left Sun Wukong. Where did he come from and where did he go? Sun Wukong was stunned. He never expected that the master would drive him away because of this. He immediately knelt down in front of Chen Ang and begged. After another day of kneeling, I realized that I was wrong. He rewrote his homework, reviewed it carefully, and regretted it endlessly. I hope the patriarch will draw the curtain and bypass me this time. Sun Wukong knelt in front of Chen Ang's door, kowtowing like pounding garlic. You come in with me. Chen Ang looked at the monkey and said calmly. Immediately, he took the monkey to see me. Immediately, he said to me, please help me, Master Taking. Then he turned to the monkey and said, you are stupid, you are a spiritual creature created by heaven and earth. Heaven and earth nourish you without teaching. Only when you see the old ape in the mountain die do you realize that there is great terror between life and death. If you have to live, this is your natural destiny. Taoism, now you have achieved what you want, but you have to know that immortality is just a small tower. The stubborn stone in the mountain has been able to live for tens of millions of years. It was created by the creation of heaven and earth. It has the same longevity as the sky and the same brightness as the sun and the moon. It is also immortal and does not hinder life and death. Before you transformed, you were this kind of stubborn stone. Why do you seek outsiders? Sun Wukong hurriedly said, a stubborn stone is a stubborn stone. Although it has 7 orifices and some immortal energy, it is just a dead thing after all. How can it be compared? You also know that you can't compare. Chen Ang snorted coldly. Now that you have gained some Tao Chi, you are complacent, thinking that you have gained the common people, and then you become lazy. What is the difference between this and that dead thing? If you just want to live forever and then mingle with animals, that's not enough to be just an immortal monkey. An immortal monkey is not a monkey anymore. Wukong. Master Taking gave you a surname. I gave you a name just to prevent you from being a hosen anymore. When you get your real name, you have transcended the race and can see your true self. After you have a name, you will be like a monkey. No longer just time, no longer just the hosen, nor the monkey king, but a unique Sun Wukong with a name and surname. When you clearly see yourself and know where you come from, what you are, and where you are going, you can break through the stubborn stone and see the enlightenment. Isn't this world just a stubborn rock? You can't bear your temper. What do you mean by nature? Isn't this a kind of laziness? Living forever does not mean you can refine yourself into a tortoise that lasts for thousands of years. Cultivation is about upward exploration, advancement, and progress. You've heard me talk about natural selection and survival of the fittest, but can't you hear the principle of self-improvement and continuous progress? Chen Ang said. The monkey looked ashamed. Immediately, he saw that when Chen Ang pointed to the void, he saw that the void was fixed by Chen Ang, and chaos appeared. When I saw it, I understood instantly. Chen Ang is planning to imitate him and create the world. If so, then help him. Thinking of this, I pointed out and separated the chaotic void where Chen Ang was fixed. In an instant, the clear and turbid air were separated. The upper clear became the sky and the lower turbidity becomes the earth. However, before the world could evolve, Chen Ang's thought swallowed up the world. In an instant, the thought was born from ignorance, and then the Brahma life was born, and then consciousness was born. Seeing name and form. All kinds of thought activities, such as thinking, or not thinking, are the formless realm. When seeing the form realm is born. Finally, the six senses of the eyes, ears, mouth, and nose are derived one after another, and the desire realm is born. This everything is like a dream. From Chen Ang's thoughts, a world appears. However, this is a dream world. Of course, it doesn't matter whether this is a dream world. Because, under Chen Ang's control, the world is extremely real. In an instant, that side of chaos evolved into a complete universe. However, that universe was not in reality in Chen Ang's dream. However, there is no difference. As you can see, Chen Ang's hand move, then Sun Wukong fell headlong into his dream world. This world, CGDJ, was opened up by the Buddhist Dharma he understood. He naturally wanted the monkey to experience in this world. He threw Sun Wukong into a technological on the Lord's planet, first use various technologies to torture him. Then seal his six senses, reincarnate in this universe, become a student, study until death, and do questions until death. Only after 5 or 6 reincarnations can he be let go. I looked on with amusement. Why would Heavenly Lord embarrass your disciple? What a joke. Chen Ang curled his lips and said, this bully doesn't know my good intentions. He deserves to be punished for this. If he dares to evade his homework, I will pay him back 10,000 times. Only then will he know how powerful he is and how learning makes people happy. Tisk. At this time, in all the worlds, countless people's mouth corners were twitching crazily. Studying makes me happy, I am so happy. Damn it, old devil Chen is still the same old devil. Tisk tisk, you have to torture your own disciples like this, good guy, old demon Chen is indeed old demon Chen. I can already imagine the despair of Sun Wukong. Worry, study until death, do questions until death, and so on. Good guy, you just skipped an assignment once, do you have to be so cruel? It's terrible. This Chen Ang is really terrible. It's so scary, so scary. Study till you die, do the questions until you die. Just thinking about it makes me feel horrible. 3 minutes of silence for the monkeys. It's unnecessary to be so cruel for such a small thing, right? Not necessary. Haha, you just saw that the monkey didn't do his homework once, but what about the reality? That's a matter of attitude. Homework is not just homework. It's one thing if you don't do it, but it's another thing if you don't do it. If you don't know how to do it, you can ask for advice. The teacher can teach you patiently. If you know how to do it yourself, then if you don't do your homework, you have an extremely bad attitude and no ambition. Hiss, Master, I understand. No, don't you think it's outrageous to ask a monkey to learn space physics, advanced mathematics, Olympiad mathematics, quantum physics, advanced chemistry, etc. Outrageous. It is indeed outrageous to teach an ordinary monkey, but is this monkey an ordinary monkey? This is Sun Wukong. That's right, this monkey is Sun Wukong. He can learn how to cultivate immortality, let alone these things. At this time, countless people were discussing and sighing. But as I saw, the picture changed again, and at this time, in the picture, the monkey was ups and downs in the world in the door. I don't know how many years have passed. He saw the birth of the world, the annihilation of black holes, the annihilation and collision of matter, the movement of stars. He was confused, as if a yuan we had passed, but in fact, in reality, it was only a moment. Finally, when Sun Wukong passed through the dazzling light where the six senses were sealed and reincarnated, he was released by Chang'an. This time, the monkey became honest. Immediately afterwards, countless people saw Chang'an and Lao Tzu starting to discuss Tao. The subject of discussion is of course Buddhism. Before the monkey, in that dream world, all he understood was Hinayana Buddhism. Now, what Chang'an and Lao Tzu are talking about is Mahayana Buddhism. Hinayana Buddhism is very different from Mahayana Buddhism. One of them is that the motivations are different. The Hinayana is careful and the Mahayana is big. Hinayana Buddhism puts oneself first, in order to cut off all worries and obstacles by oneself. Mahayana Buddhism not only seeks liberation for oneself, but also wishes to save all sentient beings in the world. The second one is the difference in Kung Fu. You start practicing Hinayana Buddhism from scratch, and then go on to observe the precepts, cut off self-grasping, and realize no self. There is also wisdom, ability, etc. Mahayana Buddhism includes Hinayana Buddhism, and Hinayana Buddhism only expounds a part of Buddhism. Even, at the end, Chang'an squeezed the lotus with his hand, and in the lotus, the Western paradise evolved. In that paradise world, there is the Tathagata teaching the Dharma, and there are bodhisattvas and arhats listening to the lecture. Real or fake? From the perspective of others, this spiritual mountain in the lotus is naturally fake, but after Sun Wukong entered, he discovered, my dear, this is actually real. Others didn't believe it, so they also entered the lotus world and saw the Tathagata, the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, and then they were shocked to discover, okay, what the hell, Lingshan was installed into the lotus by Chang'an? This scene had a huge impact on others. If you want. Even Sun Wukong is an idiot. Not to mention the reaction on the other side of Lingshan, not to mention how Tathagata devalued the golden cicada, long-eared and crouching tiger. Chang'an just looked at the horrified Sun Wukong and said with a smile, before I told you about Buddhism, all actions are impermanent, and all dharmas have no self. Now when I talk to you about Mahayana Buddhism, I still talk about impermanence, no self, and nirvana. Because these three, the latter is the seal of Buddhism and the fundamental way of Buddhism. If they are put together, even if they are not the words of the Buddha, they are still the Dharma. If they are not consistent, even if the Tathagata Buddha himself tells it, it is still a false way. Lao Tzu also laughed and said, mortals see it. Flowers only see the appearance. When gods look at flowers, they see the gathering and dispersing energy. What they see is the vitality. But when the Buddha looks at flowers, the ups and downs of movement and stillness are thoughts. These three are not separate from form, but the real flower has no self, so I don't know. Sun Wukong listened and suddenly said, I once heard a short story in the Ala kingdom on the shores of the East China Sea. It was said that one day, De Lang suddenly appeared overseas and took a divine turtle to the sea. After rushing to the shore, the leader of the Ala kingdom took the people to see. There were 3 blind men who could not see the sacred turtle, so they had to go up and touch it. One of them touched the shell and thought that the sacred turtle was a big turtle. One of them, but one touched the head of the divine turtle and said, the turtle is a dragon. Another one touched the butt of the divine turtle and said, the turtle is a human being. It turns out that the gods and monsters in the world are just a group of blind people. They only saw the color of the divine turtle and thought it was real. They actually had no idea what it looked like. Therefore, gods can only see resentment, Buddha in Lingshan can see thoughts, and mortals can only touch form. Immortals and Buddhas laugh at mortals, but they don't know that what they see is just color. As he spoke, Sun Wukong suddenly became enlightened, and then started dancing with excitement on his face. He finally understood. Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. All original thoughts are like form, and ignorance of the truth is like a dream. Immediately, he looked again. Lao Tzu opened his mouth and said, I look at this flower and know that it is not complete, but I seek its appearance. I am obsessed with the form, and then seek its emptiness. From the emptiness, I can get the truth. It can be said that I am clinging to illusion and seeking the truth. What I learn is true and false. The principle is to use various attachments to seek the complete picture and get closer to the truth. We do not seek to realize the Tao in one day, but only seek to get closer gradually. What do you mean? In fact, this is Chen Ang's Taoist heart. The Taoist heart of ordinary people is to see through everything. And Chen Ang's Taoist heart, if we use the metaphor of Buddhism, means that he wants to be able to break through the form of form and get close to the sky. Emptiness, breaking through another layer of form, and pursuing the realm where all dharmas have a self. In Mahayana Buddhism, this statement can be regarded as a deep obsession, which is contrary to the pursuit of Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism pays attention to letting go of obsession. And Chen Ang, but it is the pursuit of obsession. Isn't this the opposite? I sighed. Fellow Taoist can be said to be a man of great perseverance, great determination, and great wisdom. But if you don't seek liberation, you may suffer harm to the Tao. Chen Ang's mind moved, and then he lightly tapped the lotus in his hand, and he saw that the lotus turned into quarks, then aggregated into atoms, and finally formed cells, then divided and grew, and a lotus flower bloomed. Among the lotus flowers, there were a material world was born from the explosion of particles. In the blink of an eye, the universe cooled down and the galaxies converged. A world of boundless sea of stars was born. Really, one thought of a flower blossoms, one flower and one world, one leaf and one Bodhi. The monkey blinked, looking at all this curiously. He was a little confused and obviously couldn't understand. Chen Ang didn't expect the monkey to understand. He just looked at Lao Tzu and asked with a smile, I wonder what this flower looks like in the eyes of Saint Taking. I pondered for a long time before speaking. Tao gives birth to one, one gives birth to two, two gives birth to three, and three gives birth to all things. All things bear yin and embrace yang, and inject qi into harmony. As he said that, I stretched out my hand a little. Chaos appeared and divided into 2 rights. The 2 rights turned into 3 talents, and the 3 talents circulated. A green lotus appeared out of thin air. In the green lotus. In the world of the green lotus, there is immeasurable vitality. All things give birth to countless things. He said one is the gathering, dispersion, and condensation of vitality, and then all things are born. As he said that, he pointed a point in the void, golden straight. Then, he said the other kind is the thought of wishing, and the wish has come true. Chen Ang smiled and suddenly said, the flowers are right there. I also put my hands on my hands and smiled, the words are there. There is a world in that golden lotus. It is what I got in my dream. It is the same as Chen Ang's. The flower is not a flower, and the mist is not mist. White lotus, green lotus, and golden lotus, these three lotuses are exactly the way of each of them. Their own reasons. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 245. At this moment, along with the three lotuses, not to mention the other people present were looking at it in confusion. Even in the heavens and the world, countless people are looking at it in confusion. Only a few powerful men, truly top saints, can catch a glimpse of one or two of these, and then they all sigh with emotion. The Laozi in the picture is already a saint. And Chen Ang's realm is also that of a saint. Saints are not just reflected in their strength, but in various realms. Mere expression can only explain its eventuality. The real truth is the three lotuses. I don't understand, I really don't understand. My scalp is numb, I'm covered now. I went to ask my teacher for help, and when he came back, he said he couldn't understand it either. Is Chen Ang already in the realm of a saint? Horrible, simply terrifying. I don't understand it at all. Is this the sage's principle? Is this the realm of a saint? I really found that I seemed to be inferior to a monkey who had just practiced for 3 to 5 months. Haha, who do you think you are? Is it worthy of comparison with a monkey? It's incomparable, it's absolutely incomparable. Only when you are with Chen Laomo can you understand more. Besides, monkey has experienced a meta meeting in the dream world. Do you think you are joking? Indeed, it is normal to be inferior to monkeys. At this time, countless people were discussing, looking at everything that happened in the picture, and just sighed. At this time, the picture turned again. In the picture, Chen Ang taught Sun Wukong. It can be said that the Sun Wukong, he is Chen Ang's disciple, the only disciple. He is willing to teach everything about himself to Sun Wukong, but whether he can learn it is another question. Then, Chen Ang will teach Sun Wukong all his skills. Method, his magical power. The first thing to teach the monkeys is the electromagnetic molecule, which evolved from the knowledge of circuits, integrated circuits, semiconductors, etc. It is a cutting-edge application in computer science, called quantum soul. Huangting Yahuang God Lord, the light quantum entangled intelligent terminal is bionic. It is a method created by exhausting the duality of light waves of vitality. It is based on a silicon-based material, changes the shape of the organ, internally cultivates the heterogeneous light quantum vitality, and finally merges the spirit and body to achieve the light quantum element. God. The infinite light jade Emperor Yuan Shen is a great supernatural power, the basis of infinite intelligence changing the degenerate state of the Vajra indestructible Dharma body. Not only that, in Chen Ang's conception, there is also the follow-up of nuclear energy fusion Zhurong furnace heart, and the three-phase material reorganization cannot work together without affecting the kidneys. Then, Chen Ang warned again, teaching one by one how to strengthen the vitality, temper the soul, change the material, reorganize the brain, etc. Listening to Chen Ang's explanation, the monkey was with relish. However, countless people in all the worlds are full of confusion and questions. Worry, what the hell is this? Quantum soul? I know that Chen Laomo is a maverick, but I didn't expect that he is really defiant. Gee, is the photon entangled smart terminal bionic brain okay? Good guy, this monkey is also sincere, so he will learn whatever Chen Ang teaches him. I really laughed at this. Is the duality of energy, light, and wave okay? Also cultivate alien light quantum vitality internally and achieve light quantum soul. It goes against the heavens, it goes against the heavens, the immeasurable intelligence transformed into a simplified state and the indestructible Dharmakaya made me laugh. Nuclear energy fusion wishes to melt the furnace heart. The three-phase material recombination works together with the kidneys. I'm so excited, I also want to learn Chen Ang's cyber skills. Science and fairy cyberpunk cultivation method. It's so unbelievable. Read the quantum scripture and practice cyber immortal. Cyber cultivation, boundless magic power. Electromagnetic Gunzingi Iquan, Sun nuclear energy palm, ultra high speed guidance swordsmanship, electronic nerve beam Jotianyun Kigong. Plasma breathing technique. The titanium body is extremely golden, and the great mercy and compassion combine with the discreet dharma. I look at the picture of the radiating and infinite deity. There is no Gatling Bodhisattva in cyberpunk, with a breath of 36,000 revolutions, which can overcome the hardships in the world and eliminate many demonic obstacles. The peach tree is held in the palm of your hand, it shields signals from the heavens, the electronic fragrance calms the demons, and the alchemy furnace destroys life. Take the elixir of technology, go to the western heaven of cyberspace, meet the Mecha Buddha, stand side by side with the AI Bodhisattva, take PDF scriptures, and accumulate virtual merit. By the way, are bionic monkeys afraid of electronic tight spells? I don't know if I'm afraid of the electronic tightening curse, but I know that this monkey must be very strong. At this time, countless people in the world were dumbfounded when they saw the scene in the picture. Good guy, Chen Ang is simply a perfect combination of cultivation and technology. Well, it's so perfect. To the point where people's eyes go dark. This is so damn amazing. What about cyber cultivating immortals? It's simply unbelievable. However, maybe the previous Sun Wukong couldn't understand it, but the current Sun Wukong is obsessed with listening. Although he didn't understand many things very well, but he remembered Chen Ang's words word for word. He simply modified his brain and reorganized 3 or 4 silicon-based chips in the stone monkey's brain. In this way, he remembered the design drawing given by Chen Ang. After that, they left Hang Pass. Together with Yin 11 who was traveling with them, the 3 of them, 1 monkey and 1 ox, set foot on the Qin dynasty. During this period, the monkey has been listening to Chen Ang and I was preaching, and at the same time, he was also polishing his vitality, conditioning his soul, and adjusting the aliens. After 2 months of hard work, he finally formed a prototype of a brain in his mind, as clear as crystal. However, this is just the appearance and the inside are the infinite photons and the carrier of the soul. Since the beginning of the practice, the monkey has become increasingly transparent. In one thought, he can see the whole world, the rise and fall of the vitality. In the past, it was difficult to remember, and it was difficult to understanding the Olympiad function became easy at this moment. The human nature in him gradually disappeared, the monkey nature also languished, and his heart gradually became as indifferent as a god. Originally, Qing Niu had a good relationship with the monkey. When he saw the monkey, the more profound my practice is, the more I used to escape. Every move is mysterious, just like a machine seizing the body or an electronic virus invading. I feel more and more terrified. This leader Chen is really like a devil. Learn from him. Dharma, cultivating his behavior, even humanity and divinity disappeared. His naturally free and easy temperament would become like this. It was frightening and made him feel chilled. He asked Lao Tzu, but I had no words. It's just that monkeys have their own fate. After all, they are Chen Ang's disciples. It is impossible for Chen Ang to harm his disciples. However, Qing Niu was still worried. However, after some time, Chen Ang and Lao Tzu preached when they were talking about ancient innocence, they discussed the fundamentals of temperament. After listening to this, the monkey gradually got rid of the influence of the gods in his mind and regained his original intention. Then, he was startled. He knew that he was progressing too fast. Knowing that this was Chen Ang warning him, he immediately restrained his mind, slowed down the pace of practicing magical powers, and polished his mind. In response, Chen Ang just nodded. Finally, More than a month later, the group of people were far away. I can see the capital of Qin State, Xianyang City, from a distance. Today's Qin State is not very powerful, and today's king of Qin, oh, no, he is not the king of Qin yet, he can only be regarded as the Duke of Qin. Even a small country can be considered no, he can only be regarded as a prince. The current Duke of Qin is Duke Ai of Qin. He cannot be regarded as a Duke of Qin who has made great achievements. He can only be regarded as an average. And today's Qin land is even more unbearable. A virtuous and talented person? That's not true at all. I'm asking, who would go to Qin, a place where birds don't poop? This is what Qin is like now. It is really a remote and poor country. Most of the people wear rags, like beggar. The soldier didn't even have a decent weapon in his hand. He looked like a savage. As for Chen Ang and the others, they were dressed gorgeously and it was obvious at first glance that they were not ordinary people. Not to mention that the common people did not dare to stop them, even the officers and soldiers did not dare to stop them. When Lao Tzu and Chen Ang entered Qin, it can only be said that no one could recognize them at all. Today's Duke Ai of Qin. However, there was an alchemist who knew it. The male thunder and lightning female came into his dream, making things difficult for the alchemist and the demon monkey. A few days ago, the god of thunder and the mother of lightning were supposed to come to spread the clouds and spread the rain, but who would have thought that at that time, the monkey, thinking that he had some magic and magical powers, randomly used his thunder method to tease the two of them, which frightened them both. They fled on the spot. Naturally they were dissatisfied, so they went to the alchemist and planned to let the alchemist work to embarrass the monkey. As for Chen Ang and Lao Tzu, in their opinion, it was the monkey who was in trouble. Chen Ang and I shouldn't care about this trivial matter. Then, let the alchemist do it. The alchemist was also smart and told the monkeys and his party to Duke Ai of Qin. When Qin Agong heard that it was me arriving, he also heard a monkey, dressed in human clothes and imitating human etiquette. He was quite surprised, so he stopped the wine and said, "Come and see." On the other side, the monkey naturally didn't know that trouble was coming. At this time, he was still practicing, the crystal-like brain in his mind was gradually taking shape, and his magical powers were becoming more and more powerful. Although I lost some of my nature before, fortunately, I got through it without any danger. Now I have returned to my nature and am also naughty. He secretly compared his current calculation power and felt that he should be able to compete with Tianzun Buddha. In just one thought, you can not only learn mathematics, but also know the changes in vitality. There are countless vitality in the sky, flowers, plants, trees, mountains, rocks, and mineral veins, wind, rain, thunder and lightning, all have countless vitality gathered together. There are 129,600 types of vitality, and monkeys have already mastered 120,000 types. It can be said that monkeys today have wind, rain, thunder, and telecommunications at their fingertips, and they can also create exotic flowers, vegetables, and fruits at their fingertips. King Yu looked at it and felt envious. Now, he no longer calls the monkey his brother, but directly asks little Saint Wukong, along the way, all the fruits and melons eaten by the two masters were ordered by you transformation. When you came out of Luoyang in the past, you still needed to sift and sow, but now it is just like this. How did you achieve such magical powers? Sun Wu said with a smile. Brother King Yu, don't make fun of me. What are you talking about? Holy! You and I should still be brothers. As for this enlightenment. The monkey said this, paused, and then said with a smile, this world of heavens and infinite vitality were all developed by Grandpa Lejun. I learned this skill from Grandpa Lejun's Qinglian in the past. Grandpa taught me infinite physics, looking at the vast world, there are so many vitalities, and then I gradually understand the way of materialization of vitality, and then I gain something. My brother accompanies Lejun day and night, Don't you know such a small way? I still have knowledge to ask my brother. The monkey said it easily, it really seemed like a small way. Same. The corner of King New's mouth twitched, and he was speechless. You call this a trail? What the hell is this a trail? He can turn stone into gold and reverse the 5 elements. However, it is absolutely impossible for a monkey to control the vitality in subtle ways, create something out of nothing, and transform the vitality into something. However, when he wanted to think about it, the monkey heard that he still had some knowledge to ask for advice. He immediately said, if you don't understand anything, just tell me. Even if I don't know, I can ask the master to help you understand. In this case, Sun Wukong asked honestly, the existing vitality in this world is not difficult for me. Either it is collected or enlightened. As long as there is still vitality in the world, I can create it, but I see the old man. Grandpa Jun created the world, and when the clear and turbid chi separated, many different kinds of vitality appeared. I guess among the 129,600 kinds of vitality, there are also some alien species that could only exist at the time of the creation of the world. In this way, those I can't touch the mind, the vitality that cannot be understood, will only appear when the world is created or the world collapses. But in this case, how can I evolve and understand? He now knows 120,000 kinds of vitality. It can be said that he has a rough and complete understanding of every aspect of this world. However, there are exactly 9,600 kinds, and he just doesn't know. There is no way, the conditions for the emergence of these alien energies are too harsh. It doesn't exist in this world, so how can he understand it? Do you understand the sky? That doesn't make sense. King New stared. Okay, he didn't even understand the questions this monkey asked, let alone answer his questions. He thought for a while, and then ran to ask Lejun. Xiaoqing, he came back again, pretending to be a big brother, and said, the old gentleman said that you have a blind eye. Master Chen has taught you this method a long time ago. The monkey was stunned, and then thought hard, and after a long time, he suddenly realized. Not to mention, Chen Ang actually taught him. It's just that he ignored it. In the quantum soul diagram, there are many unfinished imitation Huangting Shen intelligent quantum organs. Among them, if the 3-phase substances are sufficient and work together in the kidneys, they will have the ability to biochemically reorganize substances. Can synthesize innate vitality on its own. The monkey observed carefully, and then discovered the general principle. The principle should be that using the polar cathode and yang magnets to accelerate the collision of vitality, reproduce the high energy state of the vitality at the beginning of the world, and synthesize the innate vitality that existed in a very short time. He only needs to refine a set of similar things to get a glimpse of the secret of innate vitality. However, before he could figure it out, a new incident appeared. Someone comes to pick them up. Chen Ang and Lao Zi were naturally received by Hao's Hung. But Sun Wukong was invited away alone to take a bath and change clothes. As the saying goes, you can be crowned by the monkey. Watching Sun Wukong walk up to the main hall, he was already thin. Qin Agong even brought big clothes for Sun Wukong to put on to show off his appearance. The surrounding ministers were all laughing, but Sun Wukong was indifferent and serious. Sun Wukong looked at Duke Ai of Qin and snorted coldly. I studied etiquette for 3 months at the residence of Confucius in the state of Lu, and then I became aware of Zhou etiquette. Today, I catered to the guests of Qin with etiquette, dressed upright, and behaved well. However, seeing the Qin Ho full of people in the hall, they are extremely rude. They have no basis for advancing or retreating, and they have violated the laws of the princes. How can the person in charge be mediocre? He is not like a human king. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 246. At this time, countless people looked at the scene in the Great Dao Golden List and watched Sun Wukong scolding Qin Ting. They all felt a little strange. Good guy, don't you look like a king? This monkey really dares to say it. Cowhide, this monkey is real cowhide. This Sun Wukong is the most awesome one since I have seen countless Sun Wukongs in all the worlds. Ha ha ha, it's true. Although I don't use curse words when swearing, it always feels good. As soon as this monkey opens his mouth, I know it's okay. Fight with the Confucian scholars with your tongue. Laughing to death, the Monkey King is fighting with the Confucian scholars. Each and every one of you is such a humming talent. What a real talent. It's incredible. Good guy, there is something. Not to mention, this monkey is really defiant. Looking at it is not like a human being, cowhide, I can only say, cowhide. At this time, countless people looked at Sun Wukong's scolding in the screen, and the corners of their mouths raised smiles. Although Sun Wukong is a monkey, at this moment, he is domineering, and his awe-inspiring righteousness directly suppresses the entire Qin Ting. Who among the people present can compare with Sun Wukong's momentum? It's simply shocking. Now that he was scolding Qin Ting, everyone present changed their expressions. But the alchemist's expression changed, and he immediately interrupted. A Hosen speaks human language, how ridiculous. Please retreat quickly and forgive your highness for being ridiculous. He was unwilling to lose his momentum, and it was impossible for Sun Wukong to control the whole scene, so he interrupted directly. But, seeing the alchemist jumping out, Sun Wukong glanced at him and snorted coldly, "You again? What came out of nowhere? What the heck?" What he said, the alchemist's face turned blue and white for a while. At this moment, Sun Wukong turned his head and looked at Duke Ai of Qin and all the 70-90 scholar bureaucrats present, and said loudly, "The king of Qin is here. Sir, you are here. Do you know that this person is the king of Qin who ordered you to rule Qin?" Agong frowned slightly, hesitated for a moment, and then said, "No." "Is that the prime minister of the state of Qin, sitting with you?" Sun Wukong asked again. King Qin looked ugly and reluctantly said, "No, son." Wukong took another step forward and sneered, "Oh, that must be the scholar official who was appointed as an official before he was born." However, at this time, before Qin Agong could reply, the scholar bureaucrats could not sit still. Some of them who did not want to deal with the alchemist stood up directly and said, "This person is just a sorcerer, an alchemist, and the like. What? Can you be considered a taxi of our Qin state?" These few words made the alchemist a little worried. Before Sun Wukong said too much, he hurriedly said to King Qin, "Your Majesty, this Hosen is just a beast covered in scales and armor that turned into a wet egg. How can he questioning the king in court? Just blast it out." With that said, before King Qin could call someone, he immediately spoke loudly, "Where are the guards?" However, before the guards could respond, Sun Wukong immediately took a step forward and shouted loudly, "Since you are just an alchemist, a witch, a divine man, how can you have the dignity to ask about the country's etiquette and music system in the Qin court? What authority does it have to order the guards?" Sun Wukong said, then looked at the scholar bureaucrats and ministers around him, and sneered, "Could it be that all the officials, young and old, in the Qin state, just watched these rude people usurp the power of Duke Qin?" As soon as he said this, the face of the alchemist changed drastically. Heartbreaking words. These are definitely heartbreaking words. Sun Wukong was giving eye drops to the king of Qin and all the princes and ministers present in front of him. Medicine. Regardless of face or honor, today, if he doesn't speak clearly, he really can't get it. Now, he is in a dilemma. He wanted to say something more, but he didn't want to. Sun Wukong's words were faster. Sun Wukong sneered. Asked, I once heard that no matter which country's princes or kings they are, only famous weapons cannot be awarded to others. Once upon a time, Duke Zhuang of Zheng awarded Zhong with a famous weapon, which allowed the powerful ministers to control the dynasty. Later, Duke Zhao of Lu lost his famous weapon to San Huan, but unexpectedly, he was expelled for cockfighting. The names and vessels of the princes are given by the emperor, and everything is established because of rituals and music. But today, I saw that the rites and music of the Qin state were in ruins, and that the famous weapon of the monarch was actually in the hands of a mere alchemist. Haha, that's ridiculous. I asked the monarch in the hall, but the monarch has not answered yet, and the ministers and officials have not responded. There is only a little alchemist who constantly scolds and calls for guards. I don't know, is Duke Qin raising the alchemists? Or is the alchemist raising Qin Gong? Is this Qin state the Qin state of Duke Qin, or the Qin state of that alchemist? The most important thing is that they want to find something to refute, but they can't refute it at all. What kind of way does Sun Wukong do? Maybe the original Sun Wukong couldn't say these words, but the Sun Wukong in this world learned from Confucius and learned from Confucius. Yu Laozi, learn from Chen Ang. He is a monkey, and it is not a problem at all to fight with the Confucian scholars. But at this time, when he saw Qin Agong again, he saw that Qin Agong's face was ashen. He listened to the monkey's words. Obviously, he was a little dissatisfied with the alchemist. On the other hand, he was also a little angry because of Sun Wukong's words. At the same time, he was also a little embarrassed now. What the monkey said made sense, but if he had to deal with it because of what a monkey said his confidant, wouldn't that mean he has lost his face? By then, the whole world will know that in the court of his Qin state, there was a monkey, wearing a formal dress, wearing a monkey hat, and even shouted questions on the spot, but all the officials were speechless. Silent. Isn't this going to make other countries laugh at him for the rest of his life? And the alchemist's face turned blue and purple for a while. This monkey was trying to force him to death. When the monkey said those words, he knew, something is not good. Things are getting a bit serious. But I didn't expect it to be like this. Now, if only one person stood up to speak for him, things would not turn out like this. But no. No one stood up to help him at all. Talk. He is usually respected by the Queen Mother and has been an eyesore to many people. In this situation, a ghost is willing to come out and speak for him. Seeing that there was silence and no one responding, Sun Wukong immediately smiled and said, why not kill him? This alchemist is here to show the world. Killing treacherous ministers to rectify their reputation? The alchemist trembled and pointed at Sun Wukong, his lips trembling and trembling. Etiquette kills people, etiquette kills people, you are trying to kill me. King. As he spoke, he turned to look at Duke Ai of Qin. Your Majesty, don't let it sow discord. He. Sun Wukong just sneered and wanted to say something else. Shut up. However, at this moment, a sharp shout came from the back hall. Immediately, an old woman came in all directions, and a faint voice slowly sounded, who dares to speak? Kill my lover. This person. At this moment, everyone present looked at the person. It was none other than the Queen Mother. When the alchemist saw the Queen Mother, he immediately became happy. Sun Wukong blinked when he saw the Queen Mother. He moved, and in the blink of an eye, he understood everything. This old woman is quite dignified, but there is a strange change. She has reached her twilight years, but she is still mixed with yin and yang, and it seems that she still has some tonic skills. Doorway. Sun Wukong looked at the Queen Mother and then looked over there. He understood everything in an instant. He snorted coldly, with disgust on his face. It really hurts Lao Sun's eyes. How can there be such a sloppy person in this world? He is not a sloppy person. What? This has become so embarrassing. However, the Queen Mother did not pay attention to Sun Wukong at all. She just looked at King Qin and said, "Your Majesty, how could you accidentally kill a countryman because of a monkey talking nonsense? If word spread, wouldn't it make people laugh? That Hosen, he's just a beast. He learned some human language and then started talking nonsense. He couldn't explain it. Someone taught him to say this specifically. Your Majesty, please don't be plotted by someone with intentions. Let me tell you, there is no need to argue with it, just put it in the zoo and just watch it." As soon as the Queen Mother spoke, she knew how much it weighed. Who has been in the harem for a long time and can become the Queen Mother, which one is more fuel efficient? Her Taoism is naturally not comparable to that of the alchemist. Now, she won't talk to Sun Wukong, and just uses her identity to decide the matter. Faced with this situation, it would be useless even if Sun Wukong was eloquent. They don't listen at all. Not to mention that Sun Wukong is just a monkey. Even if Sun Wukong is a human being, as long as he has no official status and no status, he will not be enough in front of the Queen Mother. This is the brilliance of the Queen Mother. Sun Wukong was really angry. "I was so angry that I wanted to beat the evil woman to death with a stick." At this time, Mr. Chen Ang, who was on the side, watched all this. Chen Ang asked Sun Wukong to come up. Naturally he didn't want Sun Wukong to argue with these ants. However, his purpose is to train Sun Wukong. This is just the officialdom in the human world. In the future, Sun Wukong will go to heaven and achieve Genkuo. When the officialdom in heaven fights, it will be even more unreasonable than this. However, anyway, in heaven and on earth, everyone in the officialdom does things the same way, so Sun Wukong is the one who is allowed to practice. Seeing that Sun Wukong was a little anxious, he thought and directly transmitted the message. "Wukong, please stop." Lejun went down to earth to practice, but he didn't show his magical powers. If you beat someone to death with a stick, wouldn't it mean that your master would be disgraced in front of Taoist fellow taking? When we cross Qinchuan, which is 800 miles away, it doesn't matter if you come back with Yun Yun and kill them all. The teacher has already chosen a nearby monster. When the time comes, he will pour the black water on the monster's head. The gods and gods in the sky will not be able to say anything. Even if there are 1 or 2 people who are looking for trouble, I can still protect you. As soon as he said this, Sun Wukong's heart moved. Oh! Can't he be beaten to death directly? Does it still have to be done with words? Sun Wukong blinked his eyes, looked at the master and Laozi who were with the old gods, and suddenly understood. Immediately, an idea occurred to him. He took a step forward, looked at the Queen Mother, and snorted coldly. What does the Queen Mother mean by these words? Although I am a Hosen, I follow Confucius and follow Laozi in Taoism. And I have a lot of knowledge. This is the phone number of my mentor. I have 8,000 ancient books in my chest. I know that for 5,000 years, I was originally just a boy beside my mentor. When it comes to returning gifts and responding, there is the hang pass order, and Dr. Zhou Yingxi is here. It's just that all the people in the Qin kingdom must entrust me with their crowns and robes, then bathe and change clothes, respect etiquette and abide by the law, and behave in every move. You treat me like an envoy, but you treat me like an animal? Are you deliberately humiliating me? Or is it intentional? Sun Wukong became more and more excited as he spoke, and his voice became louder and louder. In front of me driving the cow, behind the car are the great virtuous Lao Tzu, Dr. Chen Ang, Dr. Zhou driving the car, and Han Guling driving the cow. Shu Xian dares to insult me. Sun Wukong said coldly. This is not a monkey at all, it is simply a spirit. If the monkey had the appearance of a normal person, it would have attracted a lot of applause today. But, the Queen Mother frowned, a little displeased, and thought what to say. However, Sun Wukong shouted loudly, I am dressed like a monkey and look like a gentleman, How can I compare to you dressed like an animal? Worse than a beast. As soon as these words came out, the scene fell silent for an instant. Everyone was shocked. Good guy, this monkey is really cruel when he scolds people. The Queen Mother didn't expect that, even if she was a little disobedient in the past. It was nothing more than that, but now, it was just like pointing at her nose and scolding her. And the scolding was quite unpleasant. She pointed at Sun Wukong tremblingly. You, what did you say? This palace is the Queen Mother of Qin. Shut up. Sun Wukong shouted loudly and interrupted directly. His eyes were cold and stern, and he said, shameless old thief, bright-headed shrew. How dare you chat here? Do you still know that you are the Queen Mother? But as a concubine, you are not fair, keep your face in captivity, and mess up the harem. Simply ignorant of etiquette. Do you still dare to speak nonsense about the government? Your life is in vain. If you have not served the emperor in your life, you will not have peace with the people of the country. All I know is wagging my lips and talking loudly. Believe in Wuhan. How dare a wild dog with a broken spine bark in the court hall? I have never seen anyone so shameless. You. The Queen Mother was so angry that she almost fainted. Had she ever heard such remarks? Someone come, someone come. She shouted, and instantly, there was some commotion among the guards on all sides. However, Sun Wukong kicked over the guards who came to catch him, and then jumped on King Qin's case, scaring King Qin to retreat. However, Sun Wukong didn't care about King Qin, he just looked at the ministers present. Coldly the voice said, I ask you, how many days have you studied? How many words have you read? Everyone was timid and did not respond. Sun Wukong grabbed the alchemist by the collar and said coldly, tell me, what books have you read? Do you know Zhou Jinwen, Shang Oracle Bones, and Xiaobusai? The alchemist was trembling with fear, and he subconsciously said, I learned magic from my master, but I haven't read any books before. Oh, you still have the nerve to call me an ignorant beast. Sun Wukong sneered, and then he captured another scholar bureaucrat, several ministers, and some princes and ministers, and asked them one by one. But he didn't expect that these people had either read some history books or had seen other countries. For the history books, I have either studied the official documents of my own country, or only the official documents of other countries. If I really want to discuss it, I only know more than 2,000 words. He. Sun Wukong threw those guys to the ground with disdain and sneered, I don't know how knowledgeable you are, but you are so pretentious and look down on me as a beast. I came from the East China Sea proudly, traveled thousands of miles, traveled to dozens of countries, met people from 2 major states, and learned more than 10 dialects from those places, as well as the characters of each country. I also have access to so many 8 doors. Later, he became a disciple of his master. He also listened to Confucius lectures, Lao Tzu's lectures, and he learned 800 poems from various countries. I have also studied and read the official documents of various countries, from the Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties to the various vassal states today. The person named Shang Shu has also read 50 or 60 articles. I also studied the Book of Rites and the Book of Music. Later, he studied Wanjie from Na Wen. The master also taught me Lianshanyi and Kazangyi. The history books of various countries, even the 3 tombs and 5 cannons of ancient times, 8 ropes and 9 hills. As well as the ancient charms mentioned by the master, bronze inscriptions, divination by gods and ghosts, oracle bones and ropes, everything is omnipotent, and all kinds of immortal knowledge. Even if it is the knowledge of you mortals, I have read and recited it. In total, there are not more than 1 billion, but there are 89 billion. There are 89 kinds of words that he knows and can speak. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 247. At this time, everyone was really dumbfounded when they looked at Sun Wukong in the picture. Damn it, this monkey, is it so scary? This monkey, I would like to call him the strongest Sun Wukong. Good guy, he is proficient in the writings and languages of various countries, he has also learned mountains, returned to Tibet, and knows the 4 books and 5 classics. This monkey is already so terrifying that it is unimaginable. My scalp is numb, my scalp is numb. I know what he said, but I haven't read any of it. Is this the contempt of a top student? It's so scary. It's the first time I've ever met an academic monkey. Is this Sun Wukong? This is not Sun Wukong. This is not Sun Wukong, I am so stupid. This monkey is a bit outrageous. Isn't it a bit unbelievable? As far as this monkey's current knowledge is concerned, I can guarantee that it has surpassed countless people in the world. Good guy, it's so scary. This monkey is so scary. How did he endure it? How did he learn to get into it? It's okay if Chen Ang is cheating, why is this monkey cheating too? This monkey has jumped out of the original framework and has a new direction. With these few things he has learned, tisk tisk. War with the Confucian scholars, worry, Sun Wukong is at war with the Confucian scholars. Look at how angry this queen is. At this time, countless people were discussing and sighing, looking at the scene in the Dao Golden List. This monkey, this Sun Wukong, is already super god. He was taught by Chen Ang to become like this, let alone say he is Sun Wukong, even if he is another person who has learned so much and knows so much, and is also an extremely terrifying existence. Countless people are even more ashamed. Then, everyone saw it, and the picture kept changing. It's a pity, what kind of strength is Sun Wukong? Don't speaking of these people, it was useless even if the gods and gods came all over the sky. One in each hand, he almost challenged everyone single-handedly, and no one could stop him. That alchemist. Sun Wukong wanted to kill him, but in the end, Chen Ang still after explanation, he gave up and left Qin. It was only then that Chen Ang explained why King Qin of Qin was looking for trouble for Sun Wukong. It was because of the Thunder God and Lightning Mother who instructed the alchemist to go and talk to King Qin again. With this incident, Sun Wukong was angry. In his opinion, it was just a trivial matter, but he didn't expect that the Thunder God and the Lightning Mother would be unyielding. He wanted to cause trouble for the Thunder God and the Lightning Mother, but was stopped by Chen Ang was stopped. You naughty Hosen, are you thinking that you will come back with revenge when it rains next time? Chen Ang asked with a smile. Sun Wukong hesitated to speak. Obviously, this was his plan. Chen Ang shook his head. Sure enough, you are still wild and cannot learn the methods of gods. Magical means. Sun Wukong frowned and asked, Master, what are the magical methods? Immortal means. Chen Ang paused and then said, tell me, how did the Thunder God and Lightning Mother plot against you? Gods have their own rules. They don't use thunder to hit you, they just have rules in doing things. She is also doing things within the rules of heaven. All you need is to find a mortal alchemist to cause trouble for you and make you suffer. Think about it, going to kill the king of Qin and the alchemist, how is this different from the behavior of a knight-errant? Ozza looked at the gods in the sky. They were equivalent to the scholar bureaucrats in the court. Those who were serious officials, but their methods were different. What was the difficulty for an official to control a ranger? If you dare to resist, then we will mobilize all the soldiers and horses to catch you. If you still can't be caught, we will dispatch the Thunder Department and Fighting Department of Heaven, the heavenly soldiers and generals. In short, there are many ways to get you, and you fight one, and they come one by one. You fight one by one. They come for a week. Even if they can't defeat you temporarily, they will harass you day and night. Finally, some people with great powers will come. No matter how powerful the ranger is, no matter how powerful the goblin is, they can surrender. Chen Ang's words made Sun Wukong fall into deep thought. Some of the words were said by Chen Ang a long time ago. It was just that he was ignorant at the time and did not realize it. Now after experiencing it personally, he can feel the true meaning. Master, what should we do? Sun Wukong asked. Haha, don't forget, there is someone behind you. Chen Ang said with a smile, you led a cow for fellow Taoist taking. His official position is Tais Hang Lejun in Tushita Palace. He specializes in alchemy. You think, which God has not asked him? Furthermore, my teacher is the leader of the heavenly outer world, and there is someone from another world, even the Jade Emperor, so I have to give him face, so as not to surprise the friendly countries and damage the influence. How could a mere thunder male and lightning female dare to touch you? Therefore, I can only find a scapegoat from the lower realm to cause you some trouble. Moreover, I don't dare to provoke my master and fellow Taoist taking. Look at the chaos in the palace of King Qin. How many of them noticed my master and fellow Taoist taking? It's all those 4 levels of merit, day and night wandering gods, etc., that cover the eyes of those mortals and allow us to sit back and relax all the way. Sun Wukong suddenly realized the co-author is using the alchemist as a spearman. Even if he gets into trouble in the end, he will just throw the alchemist out and take the blame. Tisk, I see, a good method is indeed a good method. But master, let's just forget it this time. Then the king of Qin looked down upon you, and also looked down upon Grandpa Lejun. This matter, Sun Wukong frowned. Of course this matter is not over yet, Chen Ang said with a smile. Not finished, Sun Wukong frowned. The Thunder God and Lightning Lady are plotting against you. Of course, it's not just the previous one. That's just a name. There will be more next time, Chen Ang pointed with a smile. Besides, Sun Wukong was a little confused, and at the same time, a cold light flashed in his eyes. What a good thunder and lightning girl. He joked before and made a joke with them. Later, they plotted against him, so that's it, it's even. But, listen to master. There's more meaning? It's endless, right? Sun Wukong clenched his fist subconsciously. At this time, he heard Chen Ang say, you also know the methods of the alchemist, and the Thunder God and Lightning Mother are not stupid. How could they send a waste, giving you a hard time? They just want to see you cause trouble and offend the king of Qin, so that they can have a name to intervene and fight with you. It looks ugly to you. Lejun's journey to the west is a major event in heaven. If they take action for no reason, they will violate the rules of heaven and offend Lejun. But now, you have caused trouble in the court of the king of Qin and given them a reason to intervene. Then, under the pretext of King Qin's request, you used the hand of the alchemist to fight with the king. You fight? Even if the Jade Emperor knows it, he can't find fault with it? It's reasonable, and Lejun and I can't embarrass them. Good calculation, really good calculation. Sun Wukong was furious. He never thought that the calculation involved was so deep. Now, due to Chen Ang's instructions, he thought even deeper. As expected, any god in this heaven has authority. Are not simple people. The officialdom in the mortal world is full of twists and turns, and the officialdom in heaven is even more sinister. Tisk. In that case, let's have fun. Sun Wukong's eyes flashed with cold light. Sure enough, they had just reached Zongnan Mountain when trouble started. Previously, Sun Wukong made a big fuss in the palace of Qin and provoked him with various words. The alchemist was almost beheaded by the king of Qin. Later, the Duke of Thunder and the Mother of Lightning beat him. After a while, he was trembling with fear. Then, when he saw Sun Wukong and the others arriving at Zongnan Mountain, he started to approach the Dharma altar, recited incantations, burned talismans and documents, and went to the heavenly hall. He directly sued the Jade Emperor, saying that there was a monster monkey made a big fuss in the palace of Qin. The Jade Emperor naturally sent people to investigate. Immediately afterwards, the alchemist began to recite the incantation again, chanting the names of Dongyu Taishan Tiankai Renzheng Great Emperor, Nanyu Hongshan Sishan Zhaosheng Great Emperor, Zhonggaiu Songshan Zhongtian Chong Holy Emperor, Biu Hongshan Antian Qiansheng Great Emperor, Ziu Huashan Jintian Yuan Saint Great Emperor. The curse is as urgent as the Jade Emperor's law. As soon as this document comes out, the Thunder God and the Lightning Mother will check the Jade Emperor to check the monster monkey making trouble in the palace of Qin. The edict on the matter was delivered, and with the help of the alchemist's talisman, he sent it to various gods and immortals, asking for their cooperation. Then, the official document, together with the alchemist's documents, was sent to the Five Mountains Emperor. The Five Mountains Emperor saw it and saw that it had the Jade Emperor's will. The official document is here, and then, the mountain gods from below come out to make these mountain gods obey the orders. In this way, the process is completed. Then, the mountain gods from all walks of life, and hundreds of lands, lift up their own spiritual mountains and hide them in the sky. Waiting for an order to move the mountains of the Beifang Five Mountains to the front of Zhongnan Mountain. The four masters and disciples were originally heading west from Zhongnan Mountain. The front was supposed to be the Guanzhong Plain, but they didn't expect it. They were just counting the breaths. Suddenly 100,000 mountains appeared. The 100,000 mountains overlapped and were boundless. They directly blocked Lao Jun's westward journey. Sun Wukong stared at the 100,000 mountains, and the corners of his mouth twitched crazily. What the hell, this is what is the method of the Thunder God and the Lightning Mother. What the hell, just use 100,000 mountains to block it. These 100,000 mountains are nothing at all. In front of him, they are useless in the end. But Lao Tzu and Chen Ang now claim to be incarnated as mortals. They do not use magical means to travel to the west. They want to transform Hu into a Buddha, preach Mahayana Buddhism, and go to the west to preach scriptures. Since they claim to be incarnated as mortals, if you can fly over it, you have to walk over it. This is 100,000 mountains that ordinary people may not be able to walk over in their lifetime. Damn it, these words of thunder and lightning, really dare to make trouble. Sun Wukong has a headache. Brother Niu, let's go take a look. Sun Wukong looked at Qing Niu, and with an invitation, he jumped up and flew into the sky to see what was going on in the 100,000 mountains. Qing Niu naturally followed. The two of them looked worried. For a moment, they didn't know. What should I say? How to survive this 100,000 mountains? Just when they were thinking about it, phew, an eagle cry sounded in the sky. Sun Wukong realized that someone was peeping, and turned his head to look at an eagle in the sky. With just one glance, he could roughly deduce the origin of the eagle. A hawk demon, it was the alchemist's sworn brother. It was obviously the alchemist who invited him to cause trouble. The monkey was a little unhappy at first, but seeing that there were still people who wanted to cause trouble, he sneered. Buzz, in an instant, 2 lasers were released in his eyes. Immediately, the eagle was praised in 2 parts in an instant. This is the energy of the monkey harvesting the lunar sun, imitating the high-energy laser of Chen Ang's fingertip energy level transition. There is a laser beam in his right eye. The sun burns all the divine rays, the left eye is the Taiyan extinguishing 230 divine rays, and the left and right eyes are combined, it is the 2-dimensional divine light. It is easy to destroy this little demon. Your magic is so powerful. King Niu looked at Sun Wukong's method and was really envious. His eyes were like lasers, and the divine light shot into Tufu. It was so intimidating. This thing is perfect for showing off. He was really envious. Brother, are you willing to learn from me? They are just some tips for stimulating vitality. If my brother was willing to do homework with me, he should have learned it long ago, Sun Wukong laughed. However, when he heard this, Lao Niu's expression changed, and his whole body was shaking like chaff. When he thought of what Sun Wukong had done, he was a little frightened. Damn it, only a ghost would want to be with you. Do your homework. He immediately shut up and said no more about this matter. He turned to say, it's better to deal with this mountain first and let the master pass before we get down to business. Yes, yes, Sun Wukong nodded. But, how to survive this? How to deal with this mountain? We have no choice but to move these mountains away, Qing Niu said, and then started to talk. Brother, when will the move be completed? You have to think of another way, Sun Wukong sighed. But Qing Niu is a bully. He thinks that if he moves 10 houses today, he will move 100 houses in 10 days, and he can always move them. But obviously, it still doesn't work. When you move mountains, others are watching. Still. Before the green bull could carry the mountain away, the thunder god asked the mountain god to throw another mountain on the green bull. Seeing that the green bull could still bear it, he threw another mountain. If he could bear it, he threw another mountain. In the end, the 2 mountains of Wanjie and Taihang were pressed down on King Niu. Well, even if King Niu had the ability to carry mountains and seas, he would still have to fall here. Sun Wukong was so angry that he directly grabbed the mountain god. He came out and kicked him over. The mountain god from the Wanjie and Taihang mountains was also brought out by him. But obviously, this mountain god was nothing at all. As expected, he just kicked the mountain god over, and there was a god general. It came out. Again and again. The monkey was really angry. My master said that we must follow the rules, and I accept it. You helped the alchemist move the mountain to block our way. My master said he wouldn't argue with you, so I tolerated it. Today, Brother Niu is here and coolies are moving mountains. Do you still want to kill me, Brother Niu? Do you really think that my old grandson is made of clay? No temper. Sun Wukong was furious at this moment. Boom. He directly blasted the mountain god in his hand to the ground, and the top of the mountain was shattered. At the same time, he roared again, rushed directly into the sky, and violently blasted to kill. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 248. At this moment, hundreds of thousands of mountain gods came to stop them. Everyone was watching what was happening on the screen, and everyone was attentive. To be honest, compared to Sun Wukong's various verbal battles with the scholars, it is novel, but more people still want to see Sun Wukong fight and see the bloody fight, just like now. Even though there are hundreds of thousands of mountain gods, in fact, in front of Sun Wukong, he is still just a chicken and a dog. Seeing Sun Wukong killing the mountain god, Shi Gandang, the subordinate of Lord Taishan, became angry. Shi Gandang, as the #1 god of war in the 5 sacred mountains, his strength is naturally extraordinary. He, along with several other hair protectors, attack Sun Wukong. Now, the situation on the court is even more complicated. Looking from a distance, one can see the clouds rolling in the sky, countless blood rain falling on the sky, and countless fragments of divine weapons. It is shocking beyond words. One person fights 100,000 mountain gods alone. This Sun Wukong has already revealed his demeanor of causing havoc in the heavenly palace, and is extremely terrifying. But Sun Wukong finally tasted what it meant to fight the young and then the old. Even though Sun Wukong is very powerful and terrifying, his enemies are becoming more and more numerous. The 36 Thunder Generals of the Lei Department, and the 36 Heavenly Generals of the Do Department. They are powerful and they are the main force to eliminate demons in heaven. Now, they are attacking Sun Wukong together, and Sun Wukong is gradually losing his strength. On the other side, on Zhongnan Mountain, there was a Bagua furnace in front of Cheng'an. In the Bagua furnace, the six-ding divine fire was blazing, and an iron rod was sinking and floating in the furnace. The material of the iron rod itself was made by Cheng from pig iron born in the explosion of neutron stars. The weight is even more terrifying, 1 cubic centimeter weighs 100 million tons. Moreover, this iron rod can be as long or as short as you like. Monkey's strength has improved, but after all, he still lacks one weapon. This weapon was prepared by him for Sun Wukong, also known as fixed star god needle iron. At this time, Cheng had been refining the weapon for 3 hours. He had been refining it since Sun Wukong started working on it. Even though Sun Wukong has transformed into 3 heads and 6 arms, after all, it is still a bit difficult to fight. There is a saying that goes like this: the ants will bite the elephant to death. Moreover, what Sun Wukong faces is not just an ordinary ant. Facing countless mountain gods, generals from heaven, generals from gods, and the sneak attack from the side by the thunder god and lightning lady, he really became more and more passive. It's useless no matter how ferocious he is. At this time, the monkey really looked like a madman. His quantum soul deduces everything, and he naturally has a way to deal with the situation in front of him. He just needs to let go of his computing power, and he can definitely kill all the gods in the sky. However, in that case, he will lose himself, and I am afraid, he will really become a stone heart. He doesn't want to do this, but he has no choice. It seems that he has no choice but to do this now. He can only indulge his inner ape and use his demonic nature to fight against his divinity, so that he can kill everything ferociously. Roar! At this moment, roars filled the sky and the earth, and those eyes were full of crazy killing intent. Their fangs were deep and they pounced on the immortals and gods. "Kill this crazy monkey," Shi Gondang shouted angrily. As if they heard the signal, the people around him poured the terrifying vitality into the magical weapon in his hand. Shi Gondang waved his mace airtightly, like a dragon coming out of the sea. "Smash the vacuum!" Boom! However, the monkey was even more dexterous. In just a blink of an eye, it appeared in Shi Gondang's heart. A pair of iron palms with millions of tons of force instantly shattered Shi Gondang's heart armor. And the iron mace in Shi Gondang's hand fell. On Sun Wukong's head, there was a dang sound, and a terrifying sound wave erupted. It was not like hitting the monkey's head, but more like hitting some terrifying defensive treasure, which made his mouth numb. Monkey. Nothing happened. He was not injured at all. But in the end, the monkey was still slightly affected, and his head felt dizzy for a moment. But it was just such a moment of dizziness that the surrounding generals saw the opportunity. Stepped forward one by one, tied their hands, tied their feet, and took Sun Wukong firmly. The thunder god was ecstatic, and the chisels and hammers flew in his hands. What kind of fire thunder, wood thunder, wind fire thunder, arctic thunder, Ziwei divine thunder, Shenxiao thunder, Tai heavenly thunder, Zifu thunder, and 5 elements thunder all blasted towards Sun Wukong. The members of the 36th Thunder Department, Lei Gong, also exerted their strength in unison, and the terrifying Thunder Light and the Gangfeng Dao Gang, in unison, it blasted towards Sun Wukong. This overwhelming thunder seemed to be able to destroy the world. Let alone ordinary people, even if they rubbed a little, they would be wiped out. But rumble! Wherever the lightning passed, everything was annihilated and invisible. However, that monkey was totally innocent. Yes, at this time, although the monkey's hair is a little messy, it is still not dead after all. But ticking, on Sun Wukong's head, there was a trace of gold and silver, with metallic luster blood flowing down from his hair. Injured? Even Sun Wukong was a little stunned. He has been practicing with his master for so long, and although his body has not yet transformed into the terrifying physique that his master said, it is still countless times better than ordinary immortals. But he didn't expect that today, he would be injured. Sun Wukong frowned. That monster monkey is injured. In mid-air, there were gods who were overjoyed. They had been fighting for so long before, but they couldn't see Sun Wukong's hand. Now that it was fine, they finally had it. They couldn't help but be overjoyed. The thunder god and lightning girl also breathed a sigh of relief. The stone dared to be, he was vomiting blood and laughing at the same time. The mountain gods were also extremely excited. Sun Wukong looked at him coldly. He wanted to struggle and fight back. But no matter what, there were more than a dozen god generals restraining him with thunder and fire chains, and even heaven and earth nets. In addition, there are dragon binding ropes, demon binding ropes, immortal binding ropes. In short, all kinds of magic weapons can be found in monkeys. It can be imagined how afraid these people are of Sun Wukong. Even if Sun Wukong has a heavenly cultivation level, he still can't break free from this infinite shackles. Seeing that Sun Wukong was finally taken down, everyone present breathed a sigh of relief. Shi Gondang also stood up and looked at Sun Wukong, who was still struggling. He advised, "You are a monkey, you don't know how to be a king, you deserve to be in this disaster. However, I see that you are also superb in martial arts and a talented person. It would be a pity to die. If you accuse me of a crime, and I, Shi Gondang, can say a few nice words for you, the Jade Emperor, the great heavenly lord, will be kind to you and grant you the title of heavenly general, and everyone will be an official in the same court, and you will also be able to achieve good results, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful?" Shi Gondang naturally started to appreciate and win over Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong is indeed strong. It would be a pity if he died like this. It's just that. Pooh! Sun Wukong spat and cursed. "I have worked hard to practice and seek knowledge from my master. I am not a dog for the sake of God. One day, I, the old grandson, will break free from these many shackles, take a look outside the sky, and swim in the universe, so that the Jade Emperor cannot bind my heart, and the immortals and Buddhas in the four directions cannot go against my will. I can be detached, free, seeking, and enlightened. Then the real freedom in this case. Positive result." Ah! Sun Wukong looked at Shi Gondang mockingly. Shi Gondang frowned and his face was livid. He had already lowered his face and gave this monkey a step, but this monkey was ignorant. He didn't get down even if he was given a step. "You are so brave, you monster monkey is so presumptuous and unworthy of a human being," Shi Gondang snorted coldly. At this time, the thunder god and lightning girl also came over, looked at Sun Wukong, and cursed one after another. They said something like peeling skin and cramps. As for me? Just look at Sun Wukong killing so many people. Immortals and gods have offended so many people, so what if Lao Tzu is here? The monkey has offended too many people, and it is not something that Lao Jun can debunk with a single word. Faced with the abuse around him, the monkey has no joy or sadness, and is calm in his heart. This for a moment, he only felt that his mind was clear, and all the demonic obstacles in the past were clear, and they were no longer difficult to endure. He circulated his quantum soul and gradually took control of himself. He suddenly turned his head, looking towards Zongnan Mountain. He saw his master sitting in front of an alchemy furnace. He watched his master take out a stick from the alchemy furnace, and saw his master smiling at him. He also smiled, as the saying goes, break stubbornness. Shibuletin Wukong, free the heart ape and take off the shackles. Boom! The next second, a golden light rose from Zongnan Mountain, shuttled through the void in an instant, and landed in Sun Wukong's hand. Sun Wukong lowered his head and saw that it was a stick as thick as a chopstick. The stick was heavy in the hand, but it didn't feel like it. Very heavy. That wonderful experience surprised Sun Wukong. It was the particle that controlled gravity and tore the star core of the void. At this moment, Sun Wukong realized it. He clearly understood the connection between gravity and time and space, and understood the general meaning, various principles of the theory of relativity, and various reasons for the special theory of relativity. Boom! At this moment, the monkey roared loudly, and the stick in his hand suddenly became thicker and larger. In an instant, it directly broke away those magic weapons. With one blow of the stick, the brains of the surrounding gods burst out in an instant. Monkey, after getting the magic weapon, it was called a ferocious maniac, and he immediately killed everything and turned the world upside down, and the blood flowed like a river. From the sky, countless gods and gods rained blood. With one stick, he killed 100,000 mountain gods and shattered countless heavenly soldiers. The heavens of the thunder tribe collapsed the body of the law. The male thunder and lightning female just touched it slightly, and their brains went crazy. At this time, on Mount Zongnan, I stood up and sighed, this calamity is over, let's continue our journey to the west. Fellow Taoist, it's time to clean up the mess. The monkey has weapons, which are no longer comparable to those of the immortals and gods. However, Chen Ang looked at the chess game in front of him, and with a caress, the chess pieces were directly messed up. He smiled and said, it's just the destruction of the body. And he won't die, fellow Taoist Jade Emperor, how can you blame me? Besides, Pandeo also wants to ask Director Huang for an official position, and let Wukong make trouble. The bigger the trouble he makes, the bigger my official position will be. If he beats the Emperor of the Five Mountains and makes trouble in the Lingxiao Palace, maybe, among the 5 elders of the 5 directions, I can be added to the list. I looked at Chen Ang helplessly. Chen Ang smiled and said Pandeo and Lejun were obsessed with playing chess. They took away the morning glory monkey and his own disciple, which made the 5 mountains uneasy, the heaven uneasy, and hurt. I have defeated the generals from all over the world and caused trouble in His Majesty's Lingxiao Palace. I feel very guilty, I will give that monkey a lesson when I get back. When countless people saw this scene, they were all surprised. Countless people in all the worlds even laughed. It makes me laugh so much, what a bureaucracy, so bureaucracy. Dion, simply Dion within Dion. It's an old tradition and an old craft. Tisk, can you just teach that monkey a lesson when you get back? Just a lesson. What else? If my disciples make some mistakes, what else can they do if they don't go back and teach them a lesson? It made me laugh to death. I remember that the original Sun Wukong met those monsters with backstages on his way westward. Those backstages also said the same thing. Now, it's Sun Wukong's turn. Backstage, no one seems to have it. Akimbo. If the monkey has a backing, wouldn't that mean he can do whatever he wants? Tisk, let's make a big fuss in heaven. I used to think that havoc in heaven was gone, but I didn't expect that it still exists now. Tisk, typical bureaucracy. Hey, asking for an official position, tisk tisk, outrageous, simply outrageous. There is a monkey who is obsessed with playing chess and wanders away from the morning glory. His own disciple, hey, the center point of the code. At this time, countless people looked at everything that happened in the picture in amusement, watching Chen Ang and Lao Jun playing chess. But as they saw, the picture turned again, on the 100,000 mountains. Sun Wukong was holding the star-fixing needle iron, while killing, he seemed to realize something. That's it, Master, I understand. What do you know? Wukong, you have caused a big disaster. Seeing Sun Wukong killing everyone in all directions, and the blood of the immortals and gods he killed spilled into the sky, he became anxious. It was too cruel, the monkey was too cruel. It was simply lawless. After all, he was a cow raised by Lejun, and he had no temper. Monkeys are so wild, but not so lawless. Therefore, if the monkeys killed these 100,000 mountain gods and killed countless heavenly generals, wouldn't they be causing great trouble? Haha, I understand why Master sent this stick. Sun Wukong put the stick on his shoulder and said with a smile. King Yu frowned. Why? He could see clearly that the stick is definitely a magic weapon that defies heaven. It is really strong. If this stick hadn't suddenly appeared, I'm afraid Sun Wukong would have been overwhelmed by the demon-slaying platform. And when Sun Wukong swung the stick, the power, it's also terrifying. If the stick comes down, it may be as heavy as 100,000 mountains. This weapon must be a good weapon. It's just that. You don't understand, my ancestor. Sun Wukong smiled and shook his head. This, Niuzhao, didn't just send me a handy weapon. You know, my master has always looked down on reckless men who can only wield weapons. He taught me magical powers, and never did he just give me a weapon, teach me a lesson. The big principles and details are what I need to understand and are my test. I have seen through master's test. This is not only a weapon, but also a job. Operation. When he heard these two words, Qing Niu couldn't help but trembled, and subconsciously took 2 steps back. Sun Wukong didn't care so much, his eyes flashed with excitement, and he smiled. It's homework. Master must have looked at my indestructible body and noticed some omissions in it, so he sent this weapon at will, not only to help me escape the disaster, but also to teach me how to evolve my indestructible body. This star-fixing needle iron was the sample that taught me how to transform my combat body, and it was what allowed me to realize that level of change. Qing Niu was confused when he heard this. However, Monkey thought about it and became more and more excited. I thought at first that the plan of transforming the body with intelligent quantum organs that was passed down to me by Master was just a plan that had not yet been formed, but in fact yes, Master has already formed it. He just wants me to evolve it myself, add details, and create something that suits me. Only by continuous learning, continuous transformation, and continuous progress can we surpass Master's plan. Only then can I open up a world of my own. Master is teaching me to take all things as my teacher and transcend everything. Since it is my own, I should also give it a new name. This magical power is the spirit of the patriarch that is constantly changing and transcending between heaven and earth. The essence is change. Changers come from fighting. Surpassing everything is also a struggle, and continuous improvement is also a struggle. The one who fights is victorious, so this transforming divine body should be called the winner in battle. At this point, you should meet the gods and conquer the gods. Encounter Buddha and conquer Buddha. When you encounter a demon, you win over the demon. No matter who it is, I will defeat him based on his strengths. In front of the Buddha, I fight to defeat the Buddha. Before God, I fight to defeat God. In front of the devil, I fight to defeat the devil. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 249. At this time, countless people looked at everything in the picture and were very emotional. Fighting and conquering the Buddha. Unexpectedly, this is how this fighting and conquering Buddha came about. Fight to defeat Buddha, fight to defeat gods, fight to defeat demons. 666, this is the only way I can express my heart. It's so outrageous. I thought that the monkey would not be able to fight against the Buddha in the future, but I didn't expect that now the monkey has done it himself. It's outrageous, it's completely outrageous. Is this okay? I'm going to die laughing. The legendary Sun Wukong who defeated the Buddha in a fight actually came out like this. And the victory in a fight was not a title, but a method. Tisk, the method of victory in a fight? Outrageous. Unbelievable. It is indeed contrary to heaven. I never thought that this is how the title of Victory Buddha came from. At this time, countless people were sighing, looking at the name Sun Wukong gave himself in the picture. Although this is just a method of fighting and defeating, it still echoes the fighting and victory of the Buddha. All heavens and worlds, there are indeed many people who know the future of Sun Wukong very well. They know that Sun Wukong is making trouble in the heavenly palace, they know that Sun Wukong is trapped under the Five Elements mountain, they know that Sun Wukong later went westward, and they know that Sun Wukong has become the fighting Buddha of Buddhism. Kishinde, the spread of the legend of the holy Sun Wukong in all the worlds is not weak. But now, seeing Sun Wukong like this, everyone almost laughed out loud. At this time, you can see that the picture has changed again. The so-called fighting and winning are naturally small things. The real big thing is the current situation. At this time, as Sun Wukong understood, he had raised the golden hoop in his hand and pointed it at the sky full of immortals. This golden hoop, wow, it's not the Dingai Shenzhen from before, but the star Ding Shenzhen iron. This thing, just by its existence, makes the pure and turbid energy dissipate, which has the power to create the world. It can even distort space and affect time. The pure mass has reached an uncountable level. This thing is equivalent to a neutron star. The more Sun Wukong deduce, the more mysterious it becomes. He saw a stable gravity harmony model on this golden cudgel. It is also because of its existence that it will not collapse the four continents. Yes, you can treat this thing as a neutron star. The mass of a neutron star itself is terrifying. 1 cubic centimeter has 100 million tons. It is even said to be such a big golden cudgel. Without this stable gravity harmony model, I am afraid that the four continents will be gone when this thing is refined. And what Sun Wukong needs to learn is the changes in it. He imitated the breath of the magic needle and iron, and in the next second, his momentum suddenly changed. Then, he opened his mouth and inhaled, and in an instant, the 100,000 mountains seemed to become the size of sesame seeds, and they all entered Sun Wukong's mouth. He swallowed it all in an instant. Qing Niu was dumbfounded. He almost blurted out the word F***ck. What the hell? Take the sun and the moon, shrink thousands of mountains, distinguish between good and evil, and rub the world together. What the hell? Is it a monkey? Qing Niu was dumbfounded. He originally thought that Sun Wukong was a spiritual stone monkey, but he didn't expect that it was actually a monkey. Wait, something is wrong, something seems wrong. This monkey, he seemed to remember that there was such a thing, that's right. This Sun Wukong is definitely not a monkey. However, this method is exactly the same as that of a monkey. What the hell is this? For a moment, Qing Niu's mind was filled with questions, all of which were doubts. Is the Lingming stone monkey the true form of Sun Wukong? Is the six-eared macaque the second heart of Sun Wukong? Is the long-armed monkey the magical power of Sun Wukong? Is the red-armed monkey the instinct of Sun Wukong? At this moment, King Niu's face changed. But obviously, Sun Wukong didn't care so much. At the same time, he shrunk the magic needle iron to the size of a toothpick, and then swallowed it into his belly. Just letting go of a trace of gravity, the countless vitality began to transform, just like the beginning of the world. The extremely heavy vitality began to boil, commonly known as degenerate matter in the vitality state. Sun Wukong used the degenerate innate turbid energy to reshape his physical body. Now, his current physical body and his current strength can be said to be unique in the three realms. Yes, these 80,000 mountains are used to enhance strength. Use the mountain to block it, haha, I told you not to go back. Sun Wukong grinned, then looked at Qing Niu again and said with a smile, Brother Niu, look, the mountain is gone. The mountain is gone. King Niu stared blankly at the plain. Good guy, he was so exhausted that he couldn't even move it. But when he arrived at Monkey King's place, he swallowed it all in one breath. It was unbelievable, it was unbelievable. 8 Wanda Mountain. That's a humming 80,000 mountain. Even if it was 80,000 noodles, it couldn't be that fast, right? As a result, Monkey King opened his mouth and sucked it all away, and it was all gone. Worry. King Yu was dumbfounded. Then, he went crazy again. Brother monkey, you are my brother. These 100,000 mountains are the blessed land of the Middle Earth. If you don't swallow them up, the great emperor of the 5 sacred mountains will fight you to the death. You got into trouble, a huge disaster. Even if the dragon king of the 4 seas poured out all the water from the 4 seas, he still wouldn't be able to fill the hole dug by you. He was really stupid. He thought that the monkey could toss, but he didn't expect that the monkey could toss so much. 100,000 mountains, they will be gone if they don't. Haha, didn't I leave 20% for him? The monkey smiled. Yes, he swallowed 80,000 of the mountain of 100,000 and still had 20,000 left. The corners of King Yu's mouth twitched crazily. So what? Or should I ask the great emperor of the 5 sacred mountains to thank you? Thank you for leaving 20,000. The corner of his mouth crazy twitching. The monkey swallowed 80,000 mountains. This lineage of earth gods is afraid that it will kill the lineage of earth gods. The great emperor of the 5 sacred mountains is going to fight the monkey to death. King Yu is a little uncomfortable and feels when he came out, he would be scared to death. Sun Wukong didn't care at all. He could vaguely guess what his master wanted to do. Although he didn't know the inside story, he could probably guess it. Anyway, do it. The matter is over. Giving the stick is equivalent to giving a Shangfang sword. Do it first and then talk about it. Anyway, this is the stick given by the master, and it represents the master's will. What else can you say? Of course it is comfortable and so on. Here it comes. On the other side, on Zhongnan Mountain, Cheng'an is indeed planning everything. Now, the monkey has swallowed 80,000 mountains. It looks like it has dug a huge hole, but in fact, it can't move the fundamentals. But, we still have to form a grudge with the earth god lineage. And the leader of this earth god lineage is the great emperor of the 5 sacred mountains. Cheng'an is not worried about the other 4, they are not Sun Wukong's opponent at all. Only Dong Emperor Yu is an ancient god. Before the rise of King Yama, he represented Chengtian and imitated the Emperor of Earth to rule over the Earth God Netherworld. Just because he is senior and capable. Sun Wukong may not be the opponent of Emperor Dong Yu. As for this heaven, in fact, there is another opponent to consider. That is Erlang Shen from Guangjiankao. However, under other circumstances, Erlang Shen might come to help. But the one Sun Wukong offended was Emperor Dong Yu, so Erlang Shen would never take action. Even if the Jade Emperor went to invite him, he would not take action. Without him, Erlang Shen had some feud with Emperor Dong Yu. Oh, no, it was not as simple as a feud, it was already a deep hatred. Let me just say one thing, Erlang Shen his mother was suppressed under the Peach Mountain back then, and the land of the mountain god was under the control of Emperor Dong Yu. Therefore, this contradiction naturally emerged. Besides the heavenly court, generally speaking, the 9 heavens thunder universal transformation heavenly lord and the Jinwu emperor also I won't take action. The rest, it doesn't matter. Anyway, everything is under control. CJCF, in the end, it was nothing more than a tongue-in-cheek argument. However, Emperor Dong Yu will not take action immediately. Take action immediately, the force level is too low, I'm afraid I have to wait until the monkey hits him before taking action. However, it's not a big problem. Whether he can survive the fight or not depends on Sun Wukong's operation. As for the Jade Emperor, it definitely won't help now. This can be seen from the fact that the Jade Emperor weakened the power of Emperor Dong Yu to rule the Netherworld. Later, he suppressed the Earth God several times and even handed over the responsibilities of the River God lineage to the Dragon clan. This shows that the Jade Emperor is also a man who is good at scheming. Now that the monkey jumped out, maybe the Jade Emperor was eager to see the monkey suppress Emperor Dong Yu. This time, if Sun Wukong fails to suppress him, it doesn't matter. If he really makes Emperor Dongyu disgraced, it's hard to explain why he followed the wishes of the Jade Emperor. When the time comes, the honorific title of Emperor Dongyu will be cut off. Tisk. Chen Ang shimmers with a certain light and smiles at the corner of his mouth. Isn't this the reason for him to replace Emperor Dongyu and become the five elders of the five directions? As for the reason, how simple is that? After traveling west this time and transforming into a Hu, he can legitimately become an Eastern immortal. After all, a leader from outside the world has a much smaller foundation than the local Emperor Dongyu. Such five parties and five elders can be controlled by the Jade Emperor, right? Well, by then, who knows, he will have to add another title to his head. Yes, Dongfang blessed the infinite heavenly Lord. At this time, countless people looked at Chen Ang's analysis of the incident on the screen, and looked at the title of Dongfang blessing infinite heavenly Lord at the end, and all of them suddenly felt a little numb. Wait, Dongfang Fusion immeasurable heavenly Lord? This is not, Klein's one. Damn it, if you don't tell me I haven't thought of it yet, isn't this just Klein? Immeasurable blessings. Damn it, this Chen Ang is Klein's golden finger? Is it Klein's backstage? Damn it, I suddenly went numb, like a bolt of lightning shot straight from the top of my head to my tailbone. Damn it, the immeasurable heavenly Lord? Dongfang Fusion immeasurable heavenly Lord? Damn it, I'm so numb. No way. No way. He can't really be Klein's backer, right? Not to mention, it is really possible that Chen Ang can travel through the heavens, travel across the heavens and all realms, and let a clone of himself go to a world and become Klein's golden finger. What's the difficulty? Indeed, Chen Ang is not only a master of immortality, but also has his presence in the technology side, the Western fantasy side, arcane magic, etc. Worry, the more I think about it, the more likely it is. Moreover, Chen Ang's strength and his ability to become an immortal through science and technology are indeed consistent. Damn it, what the hell? I'm confused, I'm absolutely confused. Accompanied by countless people's discussions. At this time, the mysterious continent. Klein looked at the scene on the Avenue Gold list and saw Chen Ang like this. For a moment, his scalp went numb. The immeasurable blessing heavenly Lord that he was talking about turned out to be Chen Ang? No way. No way. For a moment, he was in a daze and frightened. Good guy, Chen Ang. Who is Chen Ang? What he read and said was the word research. Everything he said and thought was all about calculation. My golden finger is actually related to Chen Ang? No way. Really? He was in a trance, a little surprised. Fusion, none, he subconsciously wanted to read it out, but in the end, he stopped, pursed his lips, and remained silent. For a moment, he didn't know what to do. This thing is really weird and shocking. At the same time, in a prehistoric world composed of a certain universe. Dongfang Fusion infinite heavenly Lord, good guy, I felt something was wrong with that infinite heavenly Lord. So, are you waiting here? Li Changshao looked at Chen Ang in the picture and felt a little numb for a moment. Ever since he knew that there was a Master Chen and an infinite heavenly Lord, he felt familiar. But he thought more, this infinite, maybe it means quantum. You can call Master Chen the quantum heavenly Lord, or the infinite heavenly Lord, which is just a bit higher. He didn't think much about it at the time. He knew that at this time, as soon as the Dongfang Fusion infinite heavenly Lord came out, others would be numb. This what's special, this Chen Ang is getting closer and closer to that legendary existence. This Amitabha and infinite heavenly Lord do not necessarily refer to one person in particular. Sometimes, Amitabha is just a Buddha's name, but, more often, in fact, it refers to the Buddha who receives and leads you. Of course, sometimes, it also refers to the Buddha Tathagata. Amitabha means either receiving and leading or the Tathagata. And every time the monks recite Amitabha, they are practicing their path. Cumulative. Let's talk about the infinite heavenly Lord. Ordinary Taoist priests will not chant the infinite heavenly Lord, and even if they do, the infinite heavenly Lord does not refer to a person, but the infinite heavenly Lord is just a slogan. Generally speaking, the infinite heavenly Lord has no representative. Ordinary Taoist priests don't know how to read it. If they want to read it, they will add the word fusion in front of it. It means, fusion Wushan Tianzun, which means, our blessings come from countless Tianzun, which is equivalent to an auspicious word. But then Chen Ang actually wants to become the infinite blessings heavenly Lord, and let the blessings infinite heavenly Lords become himself. This ambition is too great. At this moment, Chen Ang's scalp is numb. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 250. At this time, with the sound of Chen Ang's words, countless people in the world were in a trance. I never expected that Chen Ang's calculations were so deep. He not only plots against the current world, but also plots against all the heavens and worlds. It's simply terrifying. At this time, it was seen that the screen turned, and in the screen, Sun Wukong had already begun to cause trouble in the underworld. That underworld is under the jurisdiction of Emperor Dongyu, so he naturally has the right to erase Sun Wukong's name from the Book of Life and Death, and then let the ghosts seduce his soul. However, Sun Wukong naturally deduced these, so he directly separated a hairy clone and went to the underworld. The key is, just one hairy clone can cause chaos in the underworld and make everyone in the underworld stand on their feet. Finally, this hairless clone of Sun Wukong hit Emperor Dongyu. And this farce was naturally watched by the three realms. The Jade Emperor also saw it all. At the same time, Taibei Jinxing was also dispatched, intending to appease Sun Wukong. It's a pity that after seeing Sun Wukong's fierce power, Taibei Jinxing put the imperial edict away again. This is still a bit unmanageable. We have to go back and report it to the Jade Emperor, and give Sun Wukong a bigger official. At this time, Sun Wukong also hit the Five Mountains Emperor. The remaining four emperors were naturally no match for Sun Wukong, and they were defeated without even using any force. And the last emperor Dongyu is the most difficult to deal with. But obviously, Sun Wukong was not forgiving. He just looked at Emperor Dongyu and said with a smile, "Dongyu, if you are wise, please give up the position under your buttocks and respect my master as the immortal elder of the five directions. Great Emperor. He is an old man of great virtue and strength. He can make the heavens set their hearts and minds with just a raise of his hand. This is not something that a coward like you can compare to. If you let him go, it will be fine. If you don't, I will chop you with a stick." Emperor Dongyu laughed angrily. "You monster monkey, what do I think you are capable of? Is there someone behind you to co-author? That infinite heavenly Lord is so impudent that he allows monkeys to cause trouble and raises monsters to respect themselves. Even if he is the leader of the heavenly religion and the saint who came to the world, I must learn from him. Let me ask the Jade Emperor, how can he let him cause trouble?" Sun Wukong was a little unhappy and snorted, "What about my master? It's none of your business. What's the matter? Furthermore, according to the practice of following master, I have already jumped out of the three realms and is not in the five elements. Why did you let people arrest me?" Emperor Dongyu did not want to talk more about Chen Ang's topic. Now, hearing what the monkey said again, he snorted twice. "If you have a name on the Book of Life and Death, you can't escape my law. Monster monkey, if you plead guilty obediently, there is still a chance of survival. Otherwise, the laws of heaven and the rules of the underworld will lead to punishment. Come down, you will die forever. No one in heaven or on earth can save you." Joke. Sun Wukong picked up the stick and said, "Then let me ask you, is it written in the Book of Life and Death that you provoked me today? It just says, you will die today, As Emperor Dongyu said, he opened the Book of Life and Death again, and added a few more strokes under Sun Wukong's line, writing, "I will die today, my soul will be scattered, and I will never be reincarnated." Well, you tampered with the co-authorship, right? Sun Wukong laughed. "Then when I beat you to death, I will give you a name. How do you want to die? Anyway, Grandpa will definitely satisfy you today. How do you want to die? I will show mercy today and write you one on the spot." Emperor Dongyu also sneered. The so-called non-speculation is just a short sentence. A cold light flashed in Sun Wukong's eyes, and with terrifying magic power, he grabbed the golden cudgel and blasted towards Emperor Dongyu. Emperor Dongyu was not afraid either. Took a step forward, and slapped out with a sudden palm. Boom! Boom! At this moment, the two of them wanted to touch each other. The terrifying and surging magic power made people tremble with fear. Boom! The top of Mount Tai also trembled horribly at this moment, and the ancient strata almost shattered. The uncontrollable shock wave spread towards the surroundings. Not good. Sun Wukong and Dongyu both changed their colors, and at the same time, they hurriedly stopped their hands. Sun Wukong used gravity to attract the two to fight and win. Emperor Dongyu also suppressed the four parties and eliminated the power of the shock. However, Dongyu Emperor Yu was a little surprised when he saw the monkey looking like this. Why did this monkey look more anxious than him? As the lord of Dongyu Mansion, he naturally wanted to protect one side. If the power of the shock spread to the surroundings, there would be countless casualties. At that time, not only will his priesthood be damaged, but at the same time, the Jade Emperor may use this matter to suppress him, which is very important. Logically speaking, the monkey should be happy to see it succeed. But why is it still like this? He thought. Immediately, he spoke probingly. "You monster monkey, are you actually afraid of death?" It seems that he knows God's punishment and is afraid of God's power. If so, why not just surrender? Otherwise, under the power of God, it would be difficult to find a whole corpse. Sun Wukong felt something in his heart, secretly feeling that something was wrong. This Mount Tai is located in the land of Kilu. And in the land of Kilu, he still has a piece of incense. Confucius came from the land of Kilu, and Zilu was also his good friend. At the same time, he didn't want to see the lives of people in ruins. If Emperor Dongyu uses this matter to tease him and threatens him with the beings of Mount Tai, wouldn't it? Sun Wukong's face changed slightly, and then he sneered. What kind of life is in ruins? What kind of people in the world? It's none of my business. I am the old man. Sun swallowed 80,000 mountains. How many living things are there for me to eat in one bite? I don't think it's enough. I'm planning to kill you, so I'll make a tooth sacrifice of all the immortals and gods in Mount Tai and invite the devils from all over the world to eat. To celebrate my grandson's victory over you, the emperor, I can have a celebration banquet and be honored with honors. What is your nickname? Sun Wukong took out his ears and said. It seems like some kind of Emperor Tiankai. Then I am Kishan the Great. Just ask the Jade Emperor to give me this title. Oh, looking at you with your hands and feet tied up, could it be that you are looking after the people and the common people? When Emperor Dongyu heard this, he frowned slightly. He wanted to take care of him, but at the same time, he didn't want Sun Wukong to take advantage of him. He immediately said calmly, they are just a group of ants, like the sheep, mu educate all living beings. It is their destiny to devote themselves to me. The two tested each other. In the end, they both came to a conclusion. This is such a ruthless character. They are all masters who don't care about the people. At the same time, the monkey also knew very well that he must not fight on this Mount Tai. He had to change places. Otherwise, their battle with Yubo could kill countless people. And this just fulfilled the wishes of Emperor Dongyu. In the end, the two settled on Tianting Tianhe. When fighting there is no need to worry about keeping your hands, just do it. That's it. The next second, Sun Wukong went directly to Tianting Tianhe. And Dong Yu, of course, had to keep the appointment. However, before that, he had to make some plans. He naturally had to find Tianpeng and other gods. General, when the time comes, Sun Wukong can be captured directly when he is at a disadvantage. However, Sun Wukong is stuck in Tianhe and does not move. Zhou is not coming, and he is not coming, and he is a little tired of waiting. Could this Dong Yu be planning something? At this time, Sun Wukong's true body saw everything through the perspective of the clone, and he frowned. Zhou couldn't wait, and he couldn't wait. He wouldn't believe it if Emperor Dong Yu didn't do something. Fortunately, that's just one of his clones, so he's not afraid of it. However, Dong Yu Emperor is causing trouble. It seems that he must do something. This Dong Yu Emperor is not good, and it's just one of his clones. The clone, even if his true form is gone, he still has a 5/5 chance of winning, but the clone is hanging in the balance. Therefore, he has to make some plans first. He rolled his eyes, suddenly thought of it, looked directly at King Yu, and asked, "Brother, do you still have the bronze frame that my master gave you to pull the cart? Right in the bullpen. Since that thing was brought out by Master Chen, it may have the power to destroy heaven and earth." "What use do you want it for?" King Yu said subconsciously. "Hey, you said it has the power to destroy heaven and earth, so of course it's for fighting." "Son." Wukong bared his teeth and smiled. "My clone made an appointment with Dong Yu to fight in the Tianhe River. The water on the river that day was weak and strong. You know that I am not good at water fighting, and you are afraid that Marshal Peng and the Lord of Taishan Prefecture will wear one pants. When the time comes, if the entire Tianhe naval force is mobilized to use that land to suppress me, I will inevitably suffer hardship. Therefore, I bother my brother to borrow Master's gold boat. If they plot against me, I will Lao Sun might as well give them a good look." Sun Wukong is right. It's just that. After all, it belongs to the saint. I, the old cow, can pull the cart because of my strength, but how dare I steal the saint's magic weapon? Qing Niu hesitated. He could still distinguish the importance of some things clearly. However, Sun Wukong smiled. "When an apprentice takes the master's magic weapon, is that called stealing? Don't worry, I, old son, will take care of this matter. What is my brother afraid of? Moreover, you can only borrow it once and then return it when you are done with it." King Yu feels it makes sense. If it were before, he would not have dared to do this. However, after following the monkey for a long time, he was infected by the monkey's wild nature, and he became a little wandering. He suddenly said, "In addition to your master's precious golden boat, my master also has another treasure, which is now sealed in the furnace. That treasure is made from a ball of con steel, and the 9-turn golden elixir is used to return the elixir. It was created through enlightenment. I looked at it secretly and found that it was a bracelet. I was afraid it was going to serve as my nose ring." Now, one of the two people went to the cowshed and the other to the alchemy room. King Yu went to the cowshed to get the gold boat. The monkey went to the alchemy room to get the bracelet. Everything went well for King Yu, but when they arrived at the monkey's side, they arrived in the alchemy room. Couldn't walk anymore. He smashed his mouth, opened his mouth, and ate half the gourd of the golden elixir, leaving half the gourd for King Yu. Then, he put the purple gold gourd around his waist. And then went to find the alchemy furnace. However, as soon as he opened the alchemy furnace, several golden lights flew out of the alchemy furnace and disappeared. Sun Wukong was so anxious that he just grabbed one of the objects. When he saw it, it turned out to be that bracelet. The monkey knew that he had gotten into a big trouble and ran away quickly. However, the monkey knew that this golden light would definitely not escape the master's eyes. Even if those treasures escaped, the master would still have a way to get them back. No big deal, we will follow up. Just suffer a little more and do more homework. Thinking of this, he hurriedly met Qing Niu. He gave Qing Niu the golden elixir to eat, one monkey and one cow, and then headed towards Tianhe. And on the other side of Tianhe, knowing that I had succeeded, the clone also smiled and waited quietly for Emperor Dongyu to come. Finally, when he was impatient and went down to Mount Tai to look for trouble, Emperor Dongyu arrived late. Sun Wukong saw Emperor Dongyu, immediately snorted coldly, "It took you so long to come? But are you afraid of my grandson? If this is the case, I will not embarrass you. If you abdicate and give your position to my master, I will bypass you for once." Emperor Dongyu was not angry, but said calmly, "How dare you say such arrogant words, you are so evil, I really don't know what to say. When I capture you and go to Wuliang Zhenzhen to question you, I will ask him how to teach you, this lawless monster." The two couldn't say a good word to each other, and they started fighting again. Boom boom boom. The terrifying bright divine light erupted on the Tianhe River. The water of the Tianhe River, which had been silent for countless years, boiled. The two fought, and even the void trembled faintly. Suddenly, Emperor Dongyu took out the borrowed demon mirror and pointed it at Sun Wukong. One photo. The demon mirror instantly froze Sun Wukong. He took out another small stone, which was called Fuzang stone, also known as Jiashi, and commonly known as the confused stone. He took this stone and hit Sun Wukong on the head. Ordinary monks, if they were with this beating, I am afraid that the heavenly spirit will be shattered on the spot, and the brain will burst and die. Even though Sun Wukong is a quantum soul and has a terrifying body, he is still a little dazed by the demon mirror. He wakes up in a blink of an eye and looks at that Fuzu stone, furious, smashed the Fuzu stone into pieces. "Rats, do you dare to fight head-on?" Sun Wukong was furious. "Ah!" Emperor Dongyu sneered and didn't care about that. With a flick of his hand, a bell appeared on his head, and he chanted a spell, a stream of yin and yang energy, which directly immobilized Sun Wukong. The clock of creation is beautiful, the yin and yang cut off the dawn. This thing is the artifact of Mount Tai, the yin-yang bell of creation. It is the treasure of Emperor Dongyu and has infinite magical uses. Now, as soon as the two chi of yin and yang fall, the clone of Sun Wukong will be transformed. Sun Wukong is a little anxious, and there is no other way. The only way to escape was the soul. And the Emperor Dongyu also smiled and the bell rang, instantly immobilizing Sun Wukong's soul. "Do it," Emperor Dongyu shouted. He had no choice but to jump out of the canopy and mobilize the Tianhe water army to surround Sun Wukong. Moreover, he also mobilized the weak water of the Tianhe River to create a 9-turn loop, and the Tianhe cosmic light formation directly trapped Sun Wukong. That drop of weak water was a star, and galaxies appeared like this, magnificent and extraordinary. After that, Dongyu used the river map to create yin and yang, and forcibly suppressed Sun Wukong. Emperor Dongyu smiled. Monkey subduing the Dharma is the three definitions. At this time, Taibei Jinxing and Zhen Yuanzi also came. Seeing that Sun Wukong had been suppressed by Dongyu, Taibei Jinxing couldn't help but smile bitterly. "After I suppress this demonic monkey by pressing it into the eye of the Milky Way, I will talk to Xingjun in detail." As Emperor Dongyu said, he changed his hands and wanted to seal Sun Wukong. However, at this moment, a loud shout suddenly sounded. "God Mao, you dare!" The words fell, but I saw Wahozen holds a golden cudgel in his hand and steps on a quantum light cloud. Next to him, there is a strong man with a diamond bracelet on his hand. It's Sun Wukong and Qing Niu. Sun Wukong. Emperor Dongyu's eyes bulged out of his head, and he was horrified to death. He blocked Sun Wukong with his front foot, and Sun Wukong jumped out again with his back foot.